Welcome everyone to the Shut Your Mouth Lounge. This is episode number 68. It's me, I'm Alex. I got here with me a lot of the usuals. We got Pink, we got Addie, we got Volcano, who is steadily becoming more and more of a usual. And I suppose we'll just go ahead and skip you guys introducing yourselves. Because, hey, these guys have probably watched the previous episodes. They know the voices.
Right.
Hey.
Yeah, there we go. Maximum enthusiasm. It's not like our attention is divided elsewhere at this moment. So we got a short topic list today, which is good because we've got a shit ton of stuff we've done the past week.
Right. You have anyway. But we still have that backlog of stuff that we wanted to discuss from last week's podcast.
Yeah, so we kind of want to rush through these 5 topics today. So, first up, James Gunn, who has managed to pull off the mystical feat of working for Marvel and DC at the same time, his version of Suicide Squad will be a total reboot. We'll just ignore the previous movie. And while I want to say thank God, I also worry about what James Gunn's Suicide Squad is going to look like.
Okay, get this. It's Suicide Squad, but in space.
Oh, that...
Oh my gosh. And it has it has Batman's dog.
Okay, here's the thing. Yes. If we get Ace the Bat Hound in any Batman movie, we can just call it a day.
But aren't they coming out with that one Super Pets movie in the future?
They are, so we're gonna call it a day.
Yeah, there it is. That is a bookend to the DCEU.
Yep. Marvel bookends between Iron Man and Endgame. DC bookends between Man of Steel and Super Pets.
As it should be.
This is a difficult one for us to talk about because I don't think any of us are particularly big fans of the Suicide Squad in the comics.
Right.
Right.
I don't even know who all the members are in the comics.
The launch team there was definitely old Soldier Boy. What's his name?
Rick Flag.
Rick Flag. Deadshot, Bronze Tiger. Oh, and Boomerang was there, of course. You gotta have Boomerang. What a new Suicide Squad movie needs is more focus on the squad and just set up as generic a villain as possible. Because, hey, that's what DC's been doing so far for villains.
What a new Suicide Squad movie needs is more focus on Captain Boomerang.
I love Captain Boomerang. I know you're joking there, but I love Captain Boomerang. I thought Captain Boomerang was one of the only enjoyable parts of the... Oh my god, I hit that car so hard it disappeared. One of the only enjoyable parts of the first Suicide Squad movie for me was Captain Boomerang. Which is difficult to say because the actor that played him was awful.
Right.
And is awful in every movie he's in.
You only got, what, though? 5 minutes of screen time overall?
15 maybe. He got a lot of crowd shots. And he got that weird insinuation that he was fucking a unicorn Beanie Baby, so that happened.
It's gonna hurt a lot, I swear.
But, you know. I don't want to know, but he does.
That has been removed from my memory.
And oh my god, there was just so much of that movie where that might be one of the most disjointed movies I've ever seen, you know?
Yeah.
I've rarely seen bigger cases of this is so clearly 2 different directors. Like, how many things are set up that don't get payoffs, but the payoffs are for entirely different things. So yeah, Suicide Squad reboot would definitely be benefiting a lot simply based off the fact that it's only going to have one director, assuming DC doesn't shit can James Gunn for double teaming, you know, being a double agent.
I don't know. At this point, they might just want to keep him because he's already got a successful track record with superhero movies,
If they're smart,
and they don't.
If they're smart, yeah, they'll definitely keep him. The number one thing, all right, here's the thing me and Pink are going to say, because this is the part of Suicide Squad that transferred to other comics. The best thing we can hope for a Suicide Squad reboot, good Amanda Waller.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that would be nice.
The a good Deadshot would be pretty killer too. I mean,
Is that a pun?
well, yeah. A good Deadshot would be killer and suicidal, both.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Deadshot's gonna be benefiting at least partially just because he's not gonna be played by Will Smith.
Is that he will be played by Willow Smith?
You know what? I wouldn't doubt that she'd be able to do a better job. I mean, Will Smith did some good stuff at some point, but past a certain point, you know, he's
Past
there
a
to
certain
be
point,
him.
Will Smith was Will Smith.
Yeah, he's one of those actors where that's always an apt criticism, you know? Yeah, I've talked enough about Will Smith Deadshot, honestly. Because he is always the part that bugs me the most. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn was fun. Hopefully James Gunn's next movie is just going to exclude Harley altogether. No Harley.
I would think it will, since Harley's already getting her own sort of spin-off with the Birds of Prey.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, Harley wasn't really a Suicide Squad member for the classic incarnation.
Nope.
Did the classic incarnation have any female members?
Probably not.
It definitely didn't have Did it have Enchantress? No, Enchantress is definitely a New 52 Suicide Squad. So is
Right.
Croc. If they want to go full classic squad, they're going to be cutting out the majority of the characters that people now associate with the squad. Because, I mean, like, most of the casual viewers of the first Suicide Squad, if there was two characters in that movie that got praise, it was Harley and Croc, neither of whom are classic Suicide Squad members. It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
And I love this
Funny how that all works out.
I love this specifically now my Wi-Fi is shitting itself. It's delicious. I just eat up the trouble right there. See, when your brain crosswires and you say a word that makes no sense for the situation, like saying delicious in response to your Wi-Fi shitting itself, you just gotta play it out. Make it sound like you intended to do it.
No, when you call your Wi-Fi shitting itself delicious, turns out you're just freaking Gordon Ramsay.
Ah, yes. I gotta hit everything in the middle of the road. You know what I will say though? Having Bronze Tiger in the movies would be awesome. Because have any of you guys ever actually saw a TV show or read a comic that had Bronze Tiger in it?
I have not to my knowledge.
I have no idea who Bronze Tiger is, so...
Bronze Tiger is a fun character. I've only read one or two comics that actually had him in it. He's basically just, typical martial arts badass, supervillain. But the more interesting part of his character is that he's just casually really good friends with Batman.
Oh.
Like, even though he's viewed as something of a supervillain, and he regularly like signs up for evil jobs, him and Batman get along really well. And it's not even that, obviously Batman realizes he's a bad person, but it's this odd moment where you actually remember the part of Batman being a martial artist, and that they have this really big, martial artist type respect for each other.
Right.
So I think that's a really fun aspect of that character, and it really benefits for both him and Batman. So it could be fun. There's fun possibilities here.
Oh yeah. With Suicide Squad, there were always fun possibilities. They just didn't play their cards right.
Yeah. You know what, Addy? You wanted to go for a stupid thing in comics by bringing up Boomerang. Let me tell you what the stupid thing in comics would be. So
Yeah.
there's one particular Suicide Squad run I know of. There's a stretch where Captain Boomerang was pissing off everyone by pranking the other team members. Amanda Waller was like, "Fuck it, I've had enough of you. I'm done with your bullshit, Boomerang. I've absolutely had it up to here with you. And I know you guys can't hear me, so I'm padding out for time."
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can too.
Oh, okay, because my Wi-Fi thing is like red, yellow, red, yellow, red, red, red.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
All right, Addie, invite Pink to the session. So what? She gets so pissed, she just puts Captain Boomerang in a helicopter and dumps him on a desert island in God knows where. And for several issues, that's the last time we see Boomerang. Then several issues later, it cuts back and it's on the island. Boomerang, not only is he still alive, he has built a giant wooden boomerang that he plans to launch himself off of the island with to get back to civilization.
Yes.
That's perfect. He doesn't quite become Oliver Queen. He becomes something better.
Yeah. The sad thing is he doesn't get to actually launch it. I think Amanda Waller is just like, "Hey, Boomerang, we need you again." Fishes him out with a fucking helicopter.
All that hard work for nothing.
Yeah.
And then Captain Boomerang launches the wooden boomerang at Amanda Waller.
Yeah. You know what? It has to be when they fished him back out. He says, "Oh, well, you know, Boomerang always comes back." And everybody's like, "God damn it, Boomerang. This is why we left you on the island."
Yeah.
I love comic book stupidity when it's in full force, and if they keep going with Shazam and all this, then maybe we'll get comic book stupidity in real.
Yeah.
Alright, on to a different movie that I'm also not particularly happy about. The Toy Story 4 trailer. The first trailer has come out for it, and I believe that have all of us watched it?
Yes.
I watched it while we were getting ready for the podcast.
Alright, so we have all watched it, and I want to hear if you guys agree with this sentiment. It looks like there are some fun parts, but it does not look. It looks like it's going to have some serious drags on it.
Yeah, I agree.
I just don't care for it at all.
Why
Yeah,
is Bo Peep a cult leader now?
What now?
don't know.
I was watching the trailer and it seemed to me like they're turning Bo Peep into a cult leader.
Oh. Well, you know, the almighty sheep.
He's got a little circus of lost toys now.
That's not the vibe I got. I got the vibe that the other toys were the cult leaders. The vibe I got is that now Bo Peep is going for kind of a survivalist angle.
I don't know. It's like
Mhm.
she was talking to Woody,
What?
like, "Hey, you can't go back to the humans because you're better off hiding all alone out here."
You got us shot, Tavia. Both of us.
Bo Peep?
Yes.
Bo Peep,
Bo Peep got both of us.
Context.
So I think what they're going for with Bo Peep there actually looks like one of the interesting parts. The idea of the toys going independent and being like, "You know what? Fuck humanity, we can do our own thing," right?
When is the Great Toy
Right.
Uprising?
That's always what I wondered with the previous Toy Story movies was like, are they all just supposed to be this dedicated to being good for the kids? Are none of them independent? It seems like they'd have some ambitions, you know. The Spork seems like he might be a fun character in a horrifying kind of way.
The Spork that wants to die.
Yeah, I will say the Spork should be a side character instead of one of the main characters, and it looks like he's going to be a main character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should be the side character
Spork
that jumps in
story.
every now and then to go, "My life is pain," and we laugh at him and it moves on.
We laugh at his misery.
We didn't get a good look at Key and Peele's characters. We did get to see the obvious villains. Those creepy-ass dolls. Is that not the doll from Goosebumps? Is that not just the doll from Goosebumps, by the way?
Goosebumps.
So they look
It
like
really
it.
looks like it, so...
What was it? Slappy?
Yeah.
Slapstick?
Oh, man. Hang on. Do we have a horror villain that is just a slapstick character implanted into real-life physical situations? Can we make that?
Oh my goodness.
He drops an anvil on people, but since they're real people, they don't get flattened. They just explode into gore.
Oh my
Wasn't that
god.
the original idea for the mask?
I
That
don't
may have
know,
been-
but I have-
watched the Mask movie.
Oh
I have
my
heard-
gosh.
I have heard
Yeah,
something similar.
I think
Yeah.
in the
You know what? The comics were horror, weren't they?
Yeah, because they were a
Yeah.
lot. It's a lot like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in that they started out very dark and grim.
And the
And
adaptations
they
made it really bright and happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the 80s and the 90s for you.
How did the Ninja Turtles start out even? Because I don't know.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started out as a satire of Deadpool. Not Deadpool, Daredevil.
Yeah, I know that. But what part of it was?
Well, the idea
Dark and
was
gritty.
that the chemicals that sprayed up in Matt Murdock's eyes to make him blind then leaked into the sewers and created the Turtles. And Shredder.
Yeah?
And Splinter.
Right.
I like how instead of Shredder, I heard and Shrek.
And
Because of
Shrek.
how
And
it's set up.
Shrek.
Shrek. Oh my goodness.
It leaked into the fucking minds of the DreamWorks guys and gave them the idea for Shrek. I feel like that'd be a little bit different. Oh yeah, Shrek. We created him because we had brain damage from radioactive chemicals. Yeah. Oh. So yeah, there's not much to say about Toy Story 4 other than yeah, Toy Story, every entry gets a little weaker, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
1 is a great movie, but I'm a little biased because I grew up on it. The movie's older than I am. Hell, I think that movie is older than all of us, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
What was it,
When-
94?
94, 95, yeah.
Yeah, older than all of
Yeah.
us.
Toy Story 2, I still look back on fondly, but I can see why it's a little worse than the first one. The third, I didn't really actually care for Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
And 4 looks like it's going to have some fun bits, but overall be quite mediocre. Which defines most modern Pixar movies, if we're being honest.
Yes.
Everything post Cars, except Up. Except for Up. Up is fucking amazing, and I will kill anyone who disagrees with me.
I disagree with you.
I'm a radical Up follower. I am an Upist.
You've got a closet full of balloons.
Oh my gosh.
When I get old, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to South America, boys. Never mind that there's probably no parts left of South America that aren't civilized, but you know.
Do what you can.
Okay. Yeah. And here's something for Addie to talk about. So they've officially confirmed that there's going to be a Yakuza. Is this 7 or 8?
7.
Though I think I also heard some rumors that it's just going to be called Shin Yakuza, isn't it?
God Yakuza?
Shin Yakuza.
No, Shin means God, I think. Or true.
I thought Shin meant new.
No, I'm pretty sure Shin means God or new.
God Yakuza. That's an interesting premise right there.
Yeah.
So it's going to star a new protagonist, Ichiban Kasuga. Who is that?
Number one Kasuga. Yes.
Well, I mean, it's his name. That's what I'm reading right here. Like, you can say what it is, but it doesn't change that it's his name, and they beat me to it. The you know, I'm gonna have to like defer to you on this because all I know is that this is a game that is happening and it's starring a dude named Ichiban. You're gonna have to
all I know is
let out the rest of
all
the
I know that it's
information.
happening. From people who watched the trailer, Japanese trailer, which I didn't, they said that it looks like the Ichiban is going to be a mix of Kiryu and Majima. So he will be more characteristic than Kiryu, but he won't be as crazy as Majima.
Huh. Now, when we say characteristic, what kind of characteristic do we mean?
I mean, not as wood faced.
Well, I mean, there's several ways you can be not stone-faced. I'd say that stone-faced is a characteristic in itself. I mean,
But yeah,
I'm looking at this guy. He looks a little like a bit of a party animal type guy. He looks crazy, but not in the way Majima was. Majima was rip off your face and wear it as a mask, kind of crazy a little bit. This guy looks more
which is why I liked him.
This guy looks more coke and hookers kind of crazy, which is ironic considering Sega's situation right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. This guy also looks kind of older. Can I just say there's a problem with being like, alright, we need to get rid of Kiryu because he's too fucking old. Let's replace him with a guy who's still in his 40s. Well, in 10 years you're going to have to replace him again. It's not much of a solution now, is it?
Yeah.
Nah. I don't know where they could go as a series. I mean, this guy doesn't really look like a badass either, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I don't like how he looks either.
The wild hair.
Yeah, the wild hair and being a soy boy
Oh, you
is
know,
the best way I can put it.
I don't know nothing about being a soy boy because I've only ever heard that used like by assholes. But
Like, basically, you know how every freaking hipster is just a thin strip of noodles in freaking clothes. That's the type of feel that he gives me.
I don't know. Kasuga looks like he's in the same shape as Kiryu and Majima to me.
Majima maybe. Kiryu, I don't know.
Kiryu's tall and he's got broad shoulders, but his limbs aren't certainly any thicker. You know what? I think I do remember when they were first revealing information about Kasuga. Wasn't part of Kasuga's whole thing that he's actually half black,
I don't know.
and he faces adversity because of that. Because I mean, it hits Japan. And it's the Yakuza scene, because the Yakuza scene doesn't strike me as too terribly inclusive.
Yeah.
Probably not.
And is that why he's got the wild hair? Are they saying, yeah, he's got an afro so you can tell he's half black? Nah.
I don't. Huh. But yeah, also, they announced when Judge Eyes is going to get released.
Oh, I assume it's been delayed quite a bit because they have to replace the actor?
June 25th.
That's not so bad.
Yeah.
They work quickly. I don't think I'll buy Judgment on launch day. I think I'll get it later on, definitely. I'll get it at some point, but I won't get it at launch day, that's for sure.
I might get it on launch day just because freaking Cop Yakuza.
Yeah.
Basically Sleeping Dogs 2. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it solves the classic Yakuza problem of Kiryu's a criminal, but we can't let him actually do anything bad. Well, now they're just like, alright, he's not a criminal anymore. No more Yakuza.
Yeah. So now you will be able to shoot people.
Yeah. And people put their heads in microwaves and throw them into helicopters and throw them out fifth story windows.
No. What you will be able to do is pick up a gun, shoot the gun in a random direction, throw the guy in that direction, and then the bullet will bounce back and shoot him.
I thought we were done talking about Deadshot. So there's our Yakuza bit for the day. Addie, I hope you enjoyed talking about that one topic you get to talk about. And as if we haven't talked enough about the Fox Disney merger, it happened. It finally happened.
Yay!
Midnight on the 19th, I want to say.
Yes, I believe so. They already went ahead and changed their banner, by the way, the banner they show to investors. They went ahead and already threw the Alien and they threw the Alien, Bart Simpson, and Deadpool on there.
Oh,
Specifically Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool to further back up the whole thing they're saying of everybody else is getting torched, but we'll keep Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool because we have to.
Right.
Yeah.
He's the only profitable one they've got. So
Yep.
I wouldn't say the only profitable one, but I would say that if he was the one that if they replaced him, there would be riots in the streets.
Yeah, I'd be one of them.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman is not profitable anymore. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
I love Hugh, but Logan was the finale to the Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and we will not have any more. Please, no.
Yeah.
Let Jackman Wolverine die.
Again.
Jackman Wolverine have another movie. It's about his quest for Szechuan sauce.
That Addie making 2-year-old references.
You know, I need to keep the memes fresh.
Rick and Morty memes? Nobody needs to keep those fresh, Addie.
I mean, they're good to have when you need to point out how much Rick and Morty sucks.
I don't even know if they're good then.
Arguable. Debatable.
The only Rick and Morty meme I liked was, oh, here I go killing again. Because he's so lackadaisical about it. Oh, here I go killing again. Oh,
I think the only Rick and Morty meme I like is the "Why am I on this earth to serve butter" or whatever.
Of course, you go for the nihilistic one. There we go. So yeah, we've talked about this a ton, but we haven't talked about it with Volcano. So all right. Here I've got an idea to put a new spin on it. I'm gonna go around to each of us, starting with Pink. What is the project that Disney could do after the Fox merger that would make you the most happy?
That is an excellent question. Because I want them to do something with Kang, but I don't know what.
Oh my god.
It's like, Avengers Forever pops immediately to mind. It might be a bit too out there, though. Especially coming off the heels of Endgame.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is they want their...
Oh no, my Discord went out.
The thing is they want their big villain after Thanos. But people, like... I love Kang, and Kang's a big enough cosmic villain. Kang's a big enough cosmic villain to follow up Thanos, and I love him. But I think at the end of the day, what people want for the phase 4, 5, 6 villain is either Doom or Galactus. Those are the two culprits that everybody's arguing over, Doom and Galactus.
Right.
Mm.
And I mean, I love Doom, don't get me wrong. But I kind of like Doom to be more of an I like... Doom to me should be more like Loki, where he's the villain sometimes, but he's always he's not always the main villain, but he's always present in some fashion.
Right. I don't want him to be the Thanos of the next phase, but he should be some sort of big bad in some way.
Yeah. I mean, my thing with Doom is I always love that interpretation of him, that he genuinely thinks he's best for the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like that one Black Panther storyline where it turns out that there are 150... No, that was a different storyline. But it's that one Panther storyline where it turns out Doom can get into the Vibranium mine anytime he wants, because the only security system the Wakandans have on it is the Spirit of Bast will test whether or not you are, like, a person who is genuinely, like, trying to save everyone. Generally... Oh, what's the word for when you're genuinely... Not selfless, something else. Oh, brain, why do you do this to me? Genuinely selfless. Fuck it, let's go with that. And Doom passed.
Mm.
Because Doom honestly thinks that what he's doing is for the good of humanity. He's so
Right.
high on himself.
Yeah.
If there's any power out there to be had, Doom is worthy of it. No question in his mind.
My favorite way to word it is Doom looks at things. He is so great and so genius that it would be irresponsible of him to not rule the world.
Right.
Now, on the complete opposite side, I really don't like Galactus. I don't love Galactus. I like him, but he's not worthy. I wouldn't say I love him. Galactus is not a plotter. He would not work for a phase villain.
Yeah.
Galactus
Because
is...
his thing is, he's just going to come down and try to eat the world.
Thanos is a plotter. Galactus is a force of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel how they could make Galactus work is if they would combine the two. So have Doom be the phase villain, and then in the last movie, Galactus shows up and he has to team up with the heroes to save the Earth or some shit. Like it's freaking Marvel vs. Capcom again.
Or they could do the classic storyline where the heroes think they have beat Galactus, but Doom steals the power cosmic. That's a classic right there. That's about as old Kirby and Lee Fantastic Four as you get.
They think they defeated Galactus, and then Parker eats all of Galactus's power.
Spider-Man?
Yeah. He then goes and puts on the Daily Bugle, drilling on himself.
Again.
Yes, again.
It's a recurring theme here.
I just really want freaking Spider Galactus to be a thing, and the Spiders Galactus have them duke it out.
Oh man, it would be cool if they did a Marvel What If movie where they just showed off a bunch of dumbass what if scenarios.
Yeah.
All right, so do you want to go with Kang as like your big one that you think would be the project that you'd really love to see, Pink?
I'll stick with that because I want you guys to give me something better.
All right, Addie, what would be the project that you would think would make you the most happy out of the Disney-Fox merger?
What did Fox even own?
Simpsons, Alien, Predator, X-Men, Fantastic Four.
I don't know.
Look, you can't tell me you don't want a Simpsons crossover with Avengers.
I don't. But I was going to say that I want them to do the freak Batman versus Predator storyline, and then I remember that Batman's DC. So
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
Just have Deadpool in the Avengers, I guess.
Deadpool in the Avengers. No,
Alien
no,
versus
you know
Wall-E.
You know what you want, Addie? Spider-Man Deadpool movie.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, yes, but only if it's middle-aged Spider-Man. Well, not middle-aged, but like actual, not teenager Spider-Man.
Yeah, it'd be kind of creepy while Tom's still a teenager.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait until after the third Home movie, let him graduate high school, and then then do it.
Because I had I had a lot of ideas for like freaking. I don't know having or doing Craven's Last Hunt, but that didn't need the Fox merger. Bringing Blade back, that didn't need the Fox merger. Freaking. I don't remember what the last one was, but I'm pretty sure that would have needed the Sony merger. So
yeah. The only character that really Marvel does not currently have access to, honestly, is still Namor and maybe She-Hulk, right? Because the Universal still has them.
Yes.
Which She-Hulk makes me sad. Namor I can live without.
Right. You don't really need Namor, but I agree on the She-Hulk part.
Yeah, I like her.
Then you come to this car because I need you to help me with it.
Pink, to Addie. Let us go.
Will do.
Okay, I saw a picture the other day, though. A little bit. I don't know if you actually read this storyline, Addie, because I know you're more of the Deadpool comics reader than I am. I saw a bit of a comic where it was a Deadpool storyline called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and it was about Captain America, Wolverine, and Deadpool teaming up. And I just thought that is actually a really awesome team arrangement.
Which area was this? Because I've only read the most recent line.
Okay, I definitely don't know. Pink, stop shooting at me.
That wasn't me.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh, they're shooting at you. Okay, never mind. Oh, this is professional, as it should be.
Yeah.
Okay, Volcano, what is the project that would make you most happy to come out of the Disney-Fox merger?
They have to finish. Like, I wanted to see X-Force done. I don't know if they'll do that now. I'm hoping.
If they can retain oh wait, Cable's Thanos, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like,
But yeah,
they
if
might-
they can retain Cable and Domino, I'd appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Were they really good?
I love them.
Yeah, I love
Oh.
them so much.
I've just been so hesitant about Josh Brolin as Cable for the dumbest possible reason. In that Josh Brolin is a real person, and I'm used to Cable as the big, dumb, hulking monster of muscle that he is in the comics.
Right.
Which they probably should just give Cable realistic body proportion in the comics at this point.
At this point, yeah, it's not the 90s anymore.
The days of Liefeld are gone. There's no reason why Cable is so much bigger than everyone else.
We need to start forgetting that.
Cable is on mutant steroids.
Yeah.
Addy, you chose such a fucking thing for us to do while we're podcasting. This is so attention consuming.
I did it accidentally.
Who's in X-Force? We could have Shatterstar. Didn't the movies already have Didn't Deadpool 2 already have Shatterstar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who plays him?
No idea.
I literally forgot who it was.
Because if I try to think of X-Force characters, I only think Domino, Cable, Deadpool, Shatterstar. Richter.
Right.
But Logan took Richter. I don't even know anyone else.
The X-Men Castlevania crossover.
If you skip forward to the more modern X-Force, you get Warpath and X-23.
Yeah.
Archangel as well.
Well, I mean, we're going to have to wait a couple of years for the X-23 kid to grow up, but, you know. Warpath was cool, though. Oh, hey! I'm just going to pretend I didn't see that. And thanks for the help, Pink. You really saved us there.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Issues.
I'm not gonna
I've always
provide the
had
context
issues.
for how that happened. You can probably assume it's a video game, but me and Addie getting into a gunfight. Pink shows up in a dump truck to help us, immediately gets headshotted by the guys we're fighting.
Oh my god.
No, actually, he got shot by the people we're defending.
Oh, our teammates
So
took
it's
him
even
out.
worse. Yeah.
It really helps that our teammates are just a bunch of stiffs in suits. It's a businessman. Oh, Jesus. Okay, is there... Wait, did you guys actually read the X-Force comics, or are you just going solely off the fact that the arrangement we had in Deadpool 2 was fun?
Oh, I read a few. Didn't read like all, just a few. And I was all right with what they did in the movie.
I mean,
I think-
there's a bit of a spoiler alert here. The X-Force in the movie doesn't last very long.
No, I know. I got spoiled on that, and that's part of why I avoided Deadpool 2, because it pissed me off.
I took it solely for humor purposes and that he probably went back and fixed it.
They
I
don't
mean-
kill off Shatterstar, do they? Because that's the one they have to keep alive.
They kill off everyone.
Oh,
Except Domino.
even Shatterstar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, Deadpool killed everyone, at least once before, so...
Yeah, that's...
You know what? That's what they need to do now. That's what I want. I want Deadpool kills the movie.
Alright, I don't want Deadpool kills.
No.
Yeah, I'm good without that, thank you.
Like,
Yeah.
I love Punisher, which means I have to deal with people constantly acting like Punisher kills the Marvel Universe was a great storyline. And it was garbage.
All the X person kills the Marvel Universe stories were pretty garbage.
I think it's important
Yeah.
to note that Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe exists because it was written by Garth Ennis, and Garth Ennis famously hates superheroes. The others have no such justification for why they exist. I don't get it.
Right.
Like, Garth Ennis just wound up tapping into something that he didn't know people wanted. Which is, one guy kills way more people than he has any right to.
You be like that one Viking guy?
What Viking guy?
There was a historical battle with the Vikings and the Saxons, I want to say, where he killed I think 500 people went at him and he killed 200 of them before getting stabbed in the dick, which killed him.
It's difficult to say because those historical accounts always deliberately inflate the numbers for certain guys to make them seem... Like, if one of my soldiers can kill 200 of yours, you're going to be scared shitless. So when you write stuff down in the history books, you're like, all right, so old Bob there killed 500 people
With his bare hands.
before eventually dying of Ebola after he got stabbed in the foot and then stepped in shit. Because back in those days,
But that's
you
the
didn't
price
get...
you have to pay when you walk into battle completely naked to take on the entire other army
Yeah,
and live long enough to tell the tale.
yeah. The joys of ancient history. Oh my god, that was quite a payout right there.
Yep.
The,
So,
what was I
let's
going-
go get Pink and then do another one of these.
what was I going to say? Gee, I love multitasking. It cuts me off in the middle of what I was going to think of. Alright. So, what I want out of the Disney-Fox merger. You know what? I almost wanted to go for the Kang thing, except that Pink already beat me to it. I am also a huge Kang fanboy, and unlike Pink, I've not actually read enough comics for it to be justified. It's just that the very first comic I ever read was the first volume of Young Avengers, and Kang was the
Right.
name of that, and I thought he was awesome, and I've just stuck with him ever since. Which, I mean...
And they can do that now.
Oh, they can! They're already building up Young Avengers anyways!
Right.
Because they got Cassie in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and...
Yeah, now we've got Baby Hawkeye.
Yeah, we got Baby Hawk. We got Kate Bishop, except now she's probably going to be Kate Barton.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Captain Marvel planted the seeds for someone as well.
Yeah.
Miss Marvel.
Yeah. Okay, Kamala would be awesome. Shut up. I hope we get... if they better introduce Miles and Kamala. And just ignore the rest of that generation. Just keep Miles and Kamala.
Yeah. That'd be all right.
What was I going to say? Right, so if it's not Kang, which, I mean, to be fair, Kang would be a rough one to pull off, because would they even keep his blue skin? Would they? Would they be too big of cowards for the blue skin?
Ronan has blue skin, so I don't see why they would skimp out on Kang.
He's an alien, though. The thing is, Kang's human.
From the future. The
Yeah.
far-flung future where everything is different now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, you remember
Kang
the
come to the-
technological innovation of making people blue?
It probably gives him immunity to, like, regular diseases.
Pink, come to the clubhouse.
It's like, it's not that his skin is actually blue, it's just a really thin layer of, like, armor.
Yeah. All we...
It's a really thin layer of red bug spray.
Jeez. And everybody listens to that one song. I can't think of what it is, but I'm sure Addie's waiting in the wings to say it.
Which one song?
The song about the man being blue?
Oh,
The
I
one you
feel
are
funny.
eager to cite every time we play For Honor?
Yeah. Group by Eiffel 22, I want to say. I forget their whole name.
Yeah. I'm going with you because I definitely don't remember the name of the damn thing.
I don't either.
Well, listen up. Here's a story.
Yep.
A tale about a blue world.
Mm.
It's Eiffel Blue, right?
Yeah, Eiffel number something. Blue.
Okay, here's what I want. I want an X-Man team where there's more focus on Storm, Beast,
Yes.
Rogue, and Jubilee.
Yes.
Jubilee is negotiable, but the other three have to be there.
Gambit and Nightcrawler.
Okay, those two are a lot of fun. Those two. The thing is, there's too many fucking X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, some of the Avengers, had to get skimped out on. We didn't get
Yeah.
Hmm.
We never got to see, what's her name? The chick who wound up with Mar-Vell's daughter? Moondragon. We never saw Moondragon. For a while, we thought we'd never see Black Knight, but apparently now we're going to. Did you guys catch
Are
those
we?
leaks?
We are?
Yeah,
I did not.
Black Knight's apparently going to be an in-game.
Oh man.
What? Dude.
I don't know how they swung that, but okay.
I dig it.
Pink except the white. That's why you can get in.
I gotta sneeze.
Alright. I think there's our Fox Disney topic out of the way.
I like how I disconnected. I meant to mute myself. It's like, hang on, I gotta sneeze. Leaves Discord.
It's a big sneeze.
Trust them computer.
Your computer had to sneeze.
The world had to sneeze.
Oh, that'd be something. The world sneezes. Is that not just volcanoes erupting?
Volcanoes and earthquakes.
Yeah.
So, here's a topic, I guess is just going to be me and Addie, and it's not even really going to be that, but it was just something I wanted to note, because this has got to be one of the weirdest instances of a sequel ever. Right? Because, I mean...
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a Vampirade the Masquerade. Or Vampirade!
Vampirade, that'd be awesome! That's my kind of parade!
When I was a young boy, my father took me out to the city to watch the Vampirade.
Oh, yeah! Alright, so Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Sequel to the cult classic PC game Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1. So, that game was a not at all, popularly successful game, right?
Yeah, I heard about it all, after the fact.
I think
Yeah, it might be a cult classic at this point.
everyone did. It's kind of one of the games that defined the modern, I actually did get to play Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines once. I thought it was really fun. But it was one of those games where I started on the first quest and I was like, you know what? I've got a lot of games I'm working on at this time. I'll play this game later. Never got around to it. You know those damn games?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking with Pink about how GTA 5 was one for him. So, yeah, I think you guys know. And it reminded me a lot of, Fallout, honestly. Where you can build the skills, and you got social skills and killing skills.
Fallout, but with gothic elements.
Fallout with gothic elements, set in the modern day.
Not gothic, gothic.
Gothic, okay. Golfing elements, alright.
Yeah, gothic elements.
No wonder you can love the game, Addy. You can stop being a vampire for just a moment to stop and golf. Oh man, I love that. I love a vampire game where you don't have to be a vampire all the time. Sometimes you're just out, golfing.
Yeah. You don't have to be a vampire at all times. Sometimes you just get to be John the 50,000-year-old freaking sport enthusiast.
Yeah. One of those vampire hunters shows up and tries to attack you while you're golfing. You're just like, what the hell, man?
Can't you see I'm a little busy here?
Sounds like I'm gonna have to use the golf club as a straw.
Yeah. I feel like you could make it even more comedic. Like the vampire hunter attacks you while you're doing that, and it just suddenly cuts to the vampire hunter who has been stuffed into the hole. Really?
Yeah.
Like, you can only see his head stuffed in the hole, so you would just see him upside down from the neck up, or neck down, rather.
The vampire hunter's name Elmer Fudd.
Oh, man, that'd be great. So, yeah, it's very much the kind of RPG that we go for, the three of us. Because we're all huge fans of Fallout New Vegas. With the addition of some additional subsystems like superpowers. So you could... Which I felt that was always kind of an odd thing missing from New Vegas, is for how over-the-top the setting was, you didn't have very many over-the-top moves you could do.
Yeah.
Vampire the Masquerade, you can just activate athleticism, and you'll run as fast as a fucking car and jump the size of buildings. And it's like, alright, well, this makes things a little more interesting.
Superman.
You can activate super strength, and you can just kill people with punches.
Yeah.
But can I kill people with punch?
Hey, if you got enough strength, you can kill people with kick.
Well, Volcano, what are you doing?
No, I mean...
I believe
Volcano
is drinking a milkshake very close to the microphone.
I believe Volcano is drinking the microphone.
All this talk about vampires and drinking blood, and Volcano there was like, don't mind if I do.
Volcano was a vampire all along. Vampire Kermit.
Oh my gosh.
Vampire Kermit.
Oh my goodness.
Somehow I can just see
that
Kermit
movie getting
being
made?
like,
Okay, there is actually an episode of the original Muppet Show, and he has vampire fangs.
But he's not the Count, right? He's not merging with the
No.
Count.
No.
Oh, Count Sesame Street. What am I doing?
No.
I'm a fool.
It's all the same. It's all the same. Marvel, DC, who cares?
The Sesame Street extended universe. Eddie, did you really have to kill the bartender?
She shot me.
Okay, never mind, you did. Fair. So, I'm curious how this is going to end up, because the first Vampire Bloodlines was actually had really impressive graphics for its time. One of the things it was best known for was how great the facial animations were. Because you guys have played Fallout, you guys have seen how much dialogue's in these fucking games.
Yeah.
And the facial animation in Fallout is enough, but it's not exact.
Yeah.
But you see the full emotion spectrum. You can see the enunciation and all that, and it's cool as hell. And I should probably go back and finish it at some point. Maybe, you know. But I'm interested to see where this goes, particularly with modern tech, because if they keep up the same standards, this could be some crazy stuff.
Yeah, if they keep up the same standards, we might have to buy it.
Well, it might be PC exclusive again, in which case, fuck you guys.
I think I saw a trailer posted from freaking the PlayStation account, YouTube account.
Oh. Huh. Alright, that might be interesting then. But what was I going to say? Pink and I are driving in a van with stripped tires, I think. But
Yep.
Quick, get in the ambulance. My whole thing is, like, okay, I'm going to wager Pink has never played an actual tabletop game of Vampire the Masquerade in his life.
I have not.
Pink, Addy, how about you?
I'm not graphic enough.
Okay, I actually have. So the odd thing about that is, like, at least in the campaign I was under, which the GM I was under is a particularly ruthless one in regards to combat because he tries to encourage people to solve things without killing. But there are a lot of things in the Vampire the Masquerade universe that are much, much worse than vampires. If you get worried about the game being too easy because you're on a power trip and you just be able to kill everything to solve anything, you are wrong. Because that's one of those tabletop games where it's like, oh, our third party member, poor Soon just died in one hit. And
Now we're screwed.
She's not knocked out. She's dead. Dead. Gone.
She will now have to make a deal with Mephisto.
Yeah.
Come back as the next Ghost Rider.
Like, I think the finale to that tabletop game was just me. I had my character legitimately just go, fuck this, and walk out. And that was my character's exit from the campaign. So, yeah, gargoyles and werewolves and ancient vampires, oh my. They do not fuck around. It generally had kind of... It mostly focuses more on modern day. There's still some degree of aristocratic vampires, but a lot of the vampires are like street gangsters now. So, I mean, it puts an interesting spin on the vampire setting, definitely. Putting them in the modern day. There's a certain element of edginess to Vampire the Masquerade setting, though, and I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
There's some fun to it. It all depends on how they set things up. Oh, you know what? Here's the number one glimpse into what kind of game this is going to be. It's written by Chris Avellone.
What has he written?
He has written Fallout New Vegas.
Okay.
Planescape Torment.
All right.
He definitely wrote Knights of the Old Republic 2. I don't know if he wrote the first one. He might have.
So this will be a good game, is what you're saying.
I'll say it's going to have good writing, and one of the characters is going to be a self-insert. Because Chris Avellone is an excellent writer. He has a strong habit of throwing himself into his stories to express the way he feels about the in-game world. Did either of you guys ever play the Lonesome Road DLC for New Vegas?
No.
I've got it. I think I started it, but haven't finished it.
Did you ever run into Ulysses, the main antagonist of it?
No.
So once you do, Ulysses basically drops the biggest ass monologue of all time in that entire game on your ass. And Ulysses is entirely just Chris Avallone's self-insert character. With that said, this being a Fallout, you can't just tell him to go fuck himself. So, I mean, self-insert characters aren't so bad when you can kill them.
You don't even have to talk to him. You just have to shoot him from far away before you can initiate a conversation.
Yeah. The main criticism I've ever heard of Chris Avallone's writing is mostly from Knights of the Old Republic 2. Which, did you guys hear about Knights of the Old Republic 2's plot? What was controversial about it?
No.
I did not.
So, his was the strongest case of a self-insert character. You guys ever heard the lame-ass concept of the Grey Jedi?
He made that?
Yeah.
I don't know if he made it up, but his self-insert character was the main antagonist of the game, and she was an old lady Grey Jedi. And supposedly there was a big problem of the game either forcing you pretty much to either take her view or have a really shitty comeback for it.
Oh.
Yeah, so his was by far the worst case of the self-insert character. By the way, we don't talk Star Wars much on here. Can we all agree that stuff like the Grey Jedi are cop-outs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an edgelord self-insert for Star Wars, right? Because everyone likes to imagine themselves in the Star Wars universe, but at the same time, the Jedi and the Sith are both too flawed for self-insert characters to fit. And most people, when they have self-insert characters, they want them to be perfect, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So bullshit like the Grey Jedi is how they get around that, you know?
The best of both worlds.
They're good people, but they can get married. Oh! Who would have thunk? The thing that bothers me there is George Lucas already did that, didn't he? Because wasn't that the idea behind when Luke refounded the Order?
Behind
was
who?
like, oh yeah, the original Jedi Order actually was really messed up. I'm gonna try and fix it. Of course, then there's the new sequels.
Yeah. The only part of the Grey Jedi that I liked from the concept that I saw, which was just a freaking picture listing of the pros and cons of both of all three sides. And the only thing is that they don't restrict themselves to using this or those freaking force abilities, and that's about it.
I don't know. Force choke's pretty messed up, dude.
Well, yeah, force choke is, but I'm talking about force lightning.
Force lightning's awesome. I'll admit that.
Yeah,
It's
if
a little
more
more messed
Jedi
up
use
when they
force
use it on
lightning,
people, though.
It'd
be a fun way to.
If you need to charge your phone real quick, that's a decent way to do it. But otherwise,
Hey man, if you run an electric spaceship, then I mean you got infinite. That's some
infinite power, unlimited power. That's a quote.
I don't.
unlimited mileage.
Palpatine needs to start an ISP. All limited packages for only $9.99 a month. Do it! Oh, now!
Oh, I love Palpatine. He's one of my absolute favorites. Just he's up there in the Ham Hall of Fame with Doctor Doom and M. Bison, you know?
But yeah, even with the people thing, I feel like the Jedi could restrict the Force lightning to just be a taser and not be an electrocution.
Just give him a little static electricity shock.
Yeah,
That's an actual warning shot right there. You get that little, and you're like, okay, I'm stopping.
but yeah, that's the one part of the Grey Jedi that I wouldn't mind actually being used somewhat. You know, the Force powers not being restricted to bad and good if they are debatable in their use. Force choke.
Yeah, Force choke. Yeah. Didn't Luke use Force choke in Return of the Jedi at some point? I think he did it on accident, but I think he did use it at one point, didn't he?
I think I remember him using it on one of the pig guards, but I don't remember.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
I personally don't remember, but I always see the theories that Luke had been like testing the dark side of the Force in the final episode there.
I'm not a fan of the testing the dark side theories. I'm more a fan of legitimately like he just didn't know, you know?
Right.
Because Yoda didn't explain things in depth, really. You know, he was just like...
Yoda was like...
just keep going. Just keep going.
Yoda was like, Scrub, get good.
Oh! Get good, you shall. Oh, man. Speaking of Asian caricatures...
Yoda was Asian?
Did Yoda not seem like an Asian caricature to you?
He's a little green guy. I didn't know what to think.
Star Wars is loaded with ethnic caricatures who are disguised as aliens.
Especially George Lucas.
No, we see how it is.
It was part of the whole thing everybody was angry at Jar Jar Binks for.
What was
Jar
Jar Binks
Jar?
for? Yeah,
I don't remember, but it was something African descended.
Ah.
His voice actor and motion capture actor notably is black, and was suicidal for several years after production because people would not stop tormenting him.
I believe it.
Oh.
That shit makes me depressed and angry at humanity every time I hear about how Jar Jar and Anakin's lives got ruined, you know?
Right.
Is the movie really that fucking important to you fucking nerds?
Can you not separate the actor and the character?
Can you not deal with reality?
And I was like, oh.
I mean, not only is it not the actor's fault for the character, if you wanted someone to blame for that, that's George Lucas, but you still shouldn't torment George Lucas about it. It was a bad fucking movie. You shouldn't have, if you were that, you shouldn't have gone on day one, and you should have paid attention to critics or something like that. I don't fucking know. It's not his fault. Ugh. Or well, it is his fault, but that should not be his punishment.
Right.
But Jar Jar Binks shot my dog.
Did he?
I mean, no, but that's how people.
Addy, you're misusing the lore, man. Gungans didn't use guns. Jar Jar threw a plasma grenade at your dog.
Jar Jar ate my dog.
That sounds accurate. That sounds like something Jar Jar would do. And how many Star Wars video games have we had now where there's at least one Easter egg that allows you to kill Jar Jar? I feel like there's at least 3.
What about killing Jar Jar?
Haven't there been at least 3 Star Wars games where there's an Easter egg deliberately devoted to killing Jar Jar?
Oh, I don't know.
I feel like that was a primary selling point of the first Lego Star Wars game.
I don't know. I don't remember killing Jar Jar in that.
I remember killing him when I was playing as him, but other than that...
I remember dying as him, but I don't think you ever meant to kill him.
Nope, I just jump off the stage by accident and it's like, oh! never got to Genesis.
Okay, I can't hear what Volcano's saying. It sounds like she's just saying America.
America.
Which makes me laugh because
No.
I'm imagining Jar Jar jumping off a cliff yelling America.
Jar Jar jumps off a cliff. Misa lava America.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man. I didn't get to complete that segue, by the way, when I said speaking of Asian caricatures.
I disrupted it.
Speaking of Asian caricatures, if you speak of Asian caricatures, Jar Jar Binks, apparently.
Jar Jar Binks is a caricature of humanity.
Jar Jar Binks is the crooked mirror that shows us reality.
Okay, Mortal Kombat. Hey, yeah, Mortal Kombat 11. We've been talking about it every week for the past couple weeks because since they didn't reveal the game's entire existence until December, they've been having a very short amount of time to reveal shit. So, hey, we got Jackie's in it. She looks damn good. She
looks like Buzz Lightyear.
She does look like Buzz Lightyear. She lost her shotgun arms, and I'm sad about that, but she picked up Urian walls, and I'm happy about that.
Oh no.
Oh yeah!
Freaking Aegis Deflector.
Uh-huh. It'll be really good if she can do it like Urian and put down 2, and it just juggles you between the 2.
Alright, I want the Regal Cutter, or not the Regal Cutter, that's a freaking wrestling move, the Genocide Cutter.
I want both. Give us
Kano.
Give us a Genocide Cutter that combos into a Regal Cutter.
Yeah.
I'm getting shot at. The other characters are revealed. Kotal Khan, it's confirmed that it's actually just paint. He's not actually blue all the time. Weird, huh?
But he's the Badida Badai.
Only when he needs... He activates his Dabba-Dee Dabba-Die form when going to war. That's the important part here. Okay. So, I'm stuck here doing something. I'm multitasking like 3 things at once now, so that's awesome. So yeah, Kotal Khan, he's back. He's good. He's still really good. And now he can turn into a cat. Which means I'll now main him to torment Addy. Poor Volcano doesn't understand. So...
I blame Bastard.
So, Volcano, because you don't know, Addy famously hates cats. So I make it an objective to play as a cat in every game that I can. Because, yeah, to torment him. They showed off a Kotal Khan trailer, which was secretly a Jackie trailer, because it consists of Kotal getting his ass kicked by Jackie. It's a great way to show him off is by him getting his ass beat, let me tell you.
And by Jackie, you mean the new guest character, Jackie Chan.
Well, you know, if Jackie decided to start spelling his name with a Q, that'd be an interesting choice, but, you know, who am I to judge Jackie Chan, you know? The other characters revealed include Noob Saibot, so that Addy can have at least one edgelord in the game.
I would like the teleportation powers of Noob.
He's got teleportation powers, he's got shadow clones, he's got everything. He's even got a hook now. He can beat people to death with a sickle. For Mother Russia. He also immediately has the voice of Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Ah. Alright.
I don't know if it's the exact same voice actor, but boy, do they sound identical. And his face...
Just bring up the freaking the Inspector Gadget penis picture that I posted a couple of weeks back.
No, I won't. That's fine. That's okay. Okay, so... Addy, did you see Jackie's fatality and Noob's fatalities?
No, I actually didn't watch the videos because you said that we would do a live reaction.
That we never got around to doing because I said face cam?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I'll let you discover it yourself. And the last big reveal is the first DLC character, and the character who will run the crypt, is good old Shangy Boy, Shang Tsung. I am really happy to have him back, because he has been one of my mains for the entire series.
And I think there's confirmation that Ermac is gone, because Ermac's...
Okay, Addy, you're roboting right now, but I know what you're saying. You're saying that Ermac's arcade mode ending had him more or less get eaten by Shang Tsung, so that Shang Tsung's power could be restored. I wouldn't see it as I wouldn't see it as confirmation of that, though, Addy. At least partially because this is old man Shang Tsung, which means he hasn't eaten in a long, long time.
He's starving.
Yeah, and for another thing, specifically, the crypt is now the original Mortal Kombat island. Which to me implies that this Shang Tsung has been fished out of Mortal Kombat 1 by Chronica.
Ah, yeah.
So, Ermac's still safe. It's difficult to
For
say
now.
because there is still like 6 or 5 different character slots on the launch roster that haven't been revealed, and there's the entirety of the DLC. Though I think Ermac being DLC would not help in your case.
Yeah. I mean, all it would mean is that I wouldn't get the game until the complete edition releases, so...
You
Right.
probably still won't get the game until the complete edition releases.
Yeah.
I feel like even if Ermac's not there, Reptile will probably be DLC anyways, just because Reptile has such a huge, bizarre fan base. Despite how much the game shit on him, you know?
It's the Scalies, I tell you. The Scalies.
Yep, they see Reptile and that big, gross monster lizard face, and they're like, I want to put my dick in that.
Oh, well, what's this?
Oh, God.
Gets juggled
Shut up.
by freaking spam.
Shut up! I ain't doing the jovial shut up this time. I'm doing a genuine pissed shut up. You don't bring that shit in my house. You don't bring that in my you don't bring that into my Christian Minecraft server. see, that's how dedicated I am to getting you to shut up about this. I'm referencing your dumbass memes for once.
Sees your Christian Minecraft server. Oh, what's this? Grades.
And there's a picture of muscular Winnie the Pooh.
What?
no, it's buff Xi Jinping.
Oh, Jesus. I love that Pink and Volcano, since they aren't as exposed to this internet weirdness, they're just like, okay, right. So yeah, Mortal Kombat 11 shaping up to be good. They made a couple balance changes. This is the only other thing I'm really going to say. They have sped up dashing quite a bit. So the game has been made a lot more aggressive.
All right. Oh no, you know who I need? You know who I want in Mortal Kombat?
Mocap.
No. I want the original Mortal Kombat character, Jackie Bryant.
Jackie Bryant. Yep, obviously. I mean, we are going to get a guest character at some point. We don't know who, but...
Scooby-Doo!
Scooby-Doo. Oh, shut up!
Shaggy.
I am sick of the Shaggy meme. I am so fucking sick of the Shaggy meme.
It's dead. It died again.
I don't care. I'm going to piss on its grave. I'm gonna find it. Where's the grave? I gotta go. I gotta go piss on it right now. Sick of it. You don't understand how many people are demanding that thing for Mortal Kombat. Ugh.
Ultra Instinct Shaggy. The first Mortal Kombat character. The first Mortal Kombat character not to be from a horror series.
Okay. They stick to the horror. Let's see Pennywise. Give me Pennywise in Mortal Kombat. And hey, it's Warner Brothers, right? Didn't Warner Brothers make the first It movie?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, that's what we call, that's a 1-2 punch of marketing right there. Because Warner Brothers makes Mortal Kombat, Warner Brothers makes It. There we go. Put Pennywise in Mortal Kombat. And even though none of the Mortal Kombat fighters are little kids, just pretend Pennywise is going on a diet. He's just, all
of Pennywise's fatalities are actually just babalities.
Oh, that'd be the worst. That would just be awful. Wait, didn't Dimitri have that move in Darkstalkers?
What move?
Turning the opponent into a kid and then beating the shit out of him?
Maybe, yeah.
I know we're not exactly Darkstalkers experts around here, but...
Yeah, I only know Morgan, her color swap, and freaking Felicia was from that, I think, as well.
Okay, so Big Boob Lady, Little Boob Lady, and Cat Boob Lady. All right.
I mean, if
Darkstalkers pretty much. So I mean,
if the boob ladies are the only ones they feature in other games, I can't really play as Dimitri when I can't freaking buy a Darkstalkers game for my Xbox.
Yeah, because they won't fucking port it. That's a sad fighting game fan base right there. They're not getting anything ever again.
I think there was a reboot a couple of years ago, but yeah,
there's a rumor,
that went over.
But nothing happened.
Oh.
Yeah, they didn't even get a reboot. That's how bad it is. And reboots fall out of the trees nowadays. Right, I think that's about it for topics this week. So, what we got coming out on our individual channels? Pink, you got anything coming out on your channel this week?
This week, yeah, if I actually remember to click the publish.
Why don't you just set it up so it resets itself?
I usually do, or that's what I have been doing, but I just never find the time to do it. Bless you.
Thank you.
I remember at one point I had scheduled something after I had uploaded it, but didn't complete all the descriptions and titles and whatnot because I figured, oh yeah, I'll be home before that goes up, so I can fix it then.
Yeah.
Didn't get home before it got uploaded, so that was awkward.
I mean, you can let the upload bar run out without actually publishing it.
That is true.
Or you can just upload it unlisted and then deal with that shit.
Right, that's what I've been doing recently. The unlisted.
All right, and Addy, you got anything going up on your channel recently? This coming week?
I probably don't.
All right, fair enough. You say that with such shame. I believe the last video on my channel was a PS4 upload.
My last video on my channel was a month ago.
Yeah.
But on my and that's not even on the main channel. The main channel has been like a freaking half a year at this point.
All right. And obviously there's nothing going up on my channel, and I don't know if Volk even has a channel. Do you, Volk?
Yeah, I have a channel, but I don't know what I'm putting up on there right now.
All right. So, what we got coming up on the FOS channel?
So next week is last week of March, right?
Yes, I think. Yes.
Yeah, so Terraria and I have no idea what the other one is, so let me go and check.
Are we at the finale for Terraria, or are we getting close?
No. Actually, this is the first part of the reboot that's getting released.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I thought we had already started putting out the reboot.
Nope. In fact, with how I have the scheduling set up, there's gonna be one Terraria video a month.
Yeah.
The series that will not die.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Terraria and...
Yeah, and we're waiting on the other one because it won't freaking load.
All right.
Right. So the other one is Mortal Kombat X.
Mortal Kombat X. Hey, that works.
Oh man.
Well, I got in that sweet block string, and it'll never happen again. Poor Addy, just sitting there and taking it. All right. So, I assume we'll finish this podcast with Captain Marvel talk, and then we'll after that do Devil May Cry 5 talk, so that. You know what? I won't spoil anything. Okay, never mind. So Devil May Cry 5 talk can happen at any time. So we'll just go in order of people, and we'll finish with Captain Marvel for people that don't want to be spoiled. All right. So Pink, what you done the past week other than watch I guess you watched Captain Marvel last week. Whatever.
Yeah. Legit, I don't recall doing anything that I didn't do with you guys this week. It was a Rainbow Six special that we had on my birthday. Then it was the Grand Theft Auto that we did yesterday. And I don't think I've actually done anything outside of that.
Did you not do anything else special for your birthday?
Nope.
Huh.
He didn't even get a cake.
Oh,
Nope.
you poor bastard.
Okay, then let me fetch a cake.
If you put a cake emoji in the chat, I swear.
No, I will do better. You should know me by this point.
Are you going to somehow stuff a Marilyn Monroe emoji in the cat emoji, or a cat emoji?
No.
Fuck.
Get the Mario emoji. All right.
All right. So you just tell me when you need the timestamp, because I know it's going to be a meme.
It's not a picture.
Oh, okay.
Here you go, Pink.
Remember Rihanna?
Yeah.
She did disappear, didn't she? Never quite occurred to me, but yeah, she's gone. Where'd she go?
Oh, she went into Mumble Rap land.
Oh, well, that means she's still around then.
Yeah. Last I heard of her, it was a couple of years ago with work.
Oh, right.
I don't think I've heard that song.
Be
Granted,
glad.
I'm not the biggest Rihanna fan here.
I don't think there is a biggest Rihanna fan here.
Not even Rihanna.
Well, Rihanna's
Is
not here.
Rihanna in this podcast? Is someone here secretly Rihanna and no one's told me?
Who shelled out the cash to book her?
She's a bit late. Is all.
I feel like I had seen that Rihanna was doing movies now.
Yeah. I've seen her in she was in whichever one it was. It's an Ocean's some number, I forgot. I think it was 8.
Ocean's 8,
But I
yes.
can't remember.
Yeah, I'm aware that she was
She
getting
was
into
in
movies. I was
Ocean's
one
8,
I was
like
one of the poor bastards who
Battleship,
was
that
forced to
one
watch
space movie.
I was one of the poor bastards who was forced to watch Battleship. I know that she's trying to get into movies. Yeah, what a movie to start with, you know? Battleship.
Yeah.
Battleship.
Battle Sheep?
Battleship? Okay, that would be a considerably better movie, but no.
Battleship is a Scottish movie. Or Welsh.
Yeah, I was about to say, no, I would think Welsh. I don't know. What do you talk about with Rihanna? Why are we talking about Rihanna? Pink, what did you do this week?
Rihanna.
Apparently,
Yeah.
something regarding Rihanna.
That would be something to talk about, but no, I don't think Pink did.
I don't even remember how we got on the subject of Rihanna. I'll be quite honest.
Birthday.
He sent you a
Yeah,
birthday
your
video.
there. So for my birthday, I did Siege with you guys. I thought that turned out fantastically. Let's see. I've played just a little bit of Smash Brothers, as usual.
Okay, this many weeks in, who do you play the most?
I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Trainer because I want to get better at him or them. Because I absolutely suck with them. I will often suicide when I'm playing as Squirtle or Ivysaur.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm the only person who plays Pokemon Trainer and just sticks with Ivysaur.
No, I love Ivysaur.
Oh, sweet. I am not a Charizard person.
No, I can't play.
But
Charizard was my favorite from Smash 4.
You can just pick the characters by themselves, can't you?
You can, but you can't really make it so that it's your automatic default. So, like, if you die, you will come back as somebody else, and then you'd have to do down and B over and over again, but there is a delay on that.
Yeah.
I thought they had made it where you could just pick Charizard and you would only play as Charizard. And it got rid of the fatigue mechanic.
The fatigue mechanic is gone.
Oh, thank God.
it's been replaced by having to craft your own food.
Oh, jeez. Addie, I think you misunderstood what we were going for, but I'll take it. It works. I thought for sure at least Brawl had the feature where you could just be like, alright, I'm Squirtle. And you don't even get the ability to switch to the others.
Maybe in Subspace Emissary, but other than that, no, I don't believe there's ever been a time where you can pick just the only single Pokemon that you want to use.
I mean, I guess it would create the problem of, what would be the down B then?
Right. I mean, I would have appreciated it if they had, made Pokemon exclusive down Bs. So if you only want to play as Squirtle, he's got a different down B. But if you want to play as Pokemon Trainer as normal, down B is swap out.
Right.
But that might have been just a little too much for them to do.
Yeah.
I just witnessed Addie beat a prostitute to death.
That wasn't a prostitute, that was a biker chick.
I'm
Not much difference, but still.
Are prostitutes, Addie. So, okay, let's hear, okay, yeah, that's enough. Pokemon Trainer, yeah, that's enough. That's probably enough.
Right.
And that's about it for this past week, Pink?
Outside of GTA, yes.
Alright. Now, Addie, what you been up to for the past week?
Alright, so I tried to play Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, and then EA decided to shut down its servers. So I didn't, and I have uninstalled the game.
Did they seriously Did they seriously shut down servers after it was given out for free on Gold?
No, I don't think they did, but for some reason it wouldn't connect, so I was like, I don't have time for dealing with this shit, especially since it's EA.
EA gets a bad rap, but I mean, they're not any worse than Ubisoft. Which is not
They make
saying
FIFA.
much, but
They make
still.
FIFA.
Well, people still act like EA is the absolute worst, and I think Ubisoft is either tying them for that record or surpassing them.
I don't know. Like I think Ubisoft, if people would give them an actual reality check, would wake up. EA, I doubt it.
No, you think too highly of Ubisoft in this case, I think. Because Ubisoft's been given plenty of reality checks in this case. They are going to keep on this road. The thing about Microtransaction City is there's just so much money to be made off of whales. And, whales don't give a fuck. It's free money.
Those poor sheep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that. I watched 3 billboards near Ebbing, Missouri, or outside Ebbing, Missouri. I have no idea which one it is.
3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Yes, it was got a couple Oscars last year.
Yeah. So I had to watch that for school, and I wouldn't say it was garbage, but it most certainly wasn't enjoyable.
And
I would say it's
The-
garbage, but I've never watched it, so
hey, it's got
Like,
Frances
I don't-
McDormand and Sam Rockwell in it. It deserves.
I don't.
It's got something just because of that.
right.
I don't.
I
I
do
don't
like
have
Sam Rockwell.
I don't have enough. I don't have enough freaking artsy movie critic in me to actually know what would make a good movie in this case. So
I like to consider myself a casual film critic, but I couldn't actually tell you too much. It's easier to highlight bad than it is to highlight good, you know?
yeah,
Because, I mean, a lot of the times with good in movies, you're like, yeah, it's good, and that's it, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or it's easy
But I
to
think-
talk about the writing, because writing is something that any given one of us can comprehend.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Well, Addy,
I don't know, man.
What you could say, Addy, how was the editing? You guys are going the wrong way.
We
No,
already
I
dropped
was
off
going to
our.
Pink.
Oh, okay.
No, I guess we were going to you. But yeah, yeah, the editing. The editing was all right at times. The other times I felt it was a bit stilted. I guess.
That's accurate for
'Cause-
some of the movies. Like, I'm trying to think of a good
'Cause-
example.
To me, it felt like there was no lead into cuts. It was just okay, we're done here. Let's move on, and that's it.
I mean, if a movie wants to get shit done.
Well, yeah, but you know, a couple of seconds can make a lot of difference,
It can.
Or even- or even just a different kind of cutting. Because you know, there's clean cutting, there's putting vibes, shit like that, and that can make a big difference. And you know, professional movies mostly use normal cuts because vibes are tacky as shit. But-
Yeah. I was about to say, let's just pretend wipes don't exist, huh?
Well, the thing is that you know sometimes, for example, there was a time where I don't actually remember what followed it up, but there's a scene in the movie where the billboards are on fire and the woman is just crying in front of them, basically trying to put it out, but it doesn't work. That could have used the vibe to the next day, if that's what followed it, but I don't freaking remember. Like you know, I think vibe or not of vibes, but dissolves. Dissolves can have a use in professional movie editing, but in really low numbers.
Yeah. I think that when a movie does, like, really curt editing, it's trying to appeal more real, you know? I don't know what
Yeah.
it is that's about that quality of editing that makes people see it as more real, but I think that was it sounds like what they're aiming for.
Yeah, a lot of times things that make the movie more real are things that I dislike. For example, you know this whole trend of the shaky camera, like if the movie or TV show was shot on a phone.
I hate
Mhm.
Shazam.
Mhm.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that as well, and I don't know why people praise it as you know it makes them feel more immersed in the freaking thing. Like if
Because it doesn't.
It
Yeah,
makes me
It has
feel
the opposite
sick.
effect.
Yeah, I was about to say, it has the opposite effect for me. It reminds me of the fact that there's a camera.
yeah, because like you know if it's you said that I think it's either The Office or Office Space that is a movie where it's actually in a universe that they have a camera strapped onto them.
Yes, The Office.
In that case, I'm fine. There's an explanation for the cameras to be shaky because there's a guy holding them around on their freaking shoulder.
The
You're not gonna
amusing
have
thing
a
is, I
guy.
don't think The Office's camera actually shakes. I think it's steady.
Because they're not hiring a bunch of amateurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so, you know, like I wouldn't have minded it in that. But like, for example, Black Mirror. We've watched Black Mirror in film class because I don't know. I know why.
It's the hot
we
new
watched
craze.
No, we watched it because my freaking classmates refused to actually do like classwork, and they just wanted to do critic shit. which, like, I'm an amateur critic. I don't like doing critic shit for for school. That's my hobby. I don't want to do it. But
Okay, which episode of Black Mirror?
we watched a couple. There was one with the fake bees.
The fake knees?
Bees.
Fake bees. I've never heard of that one.
Robot bees.
I've only heard of this. I've heard of the spaceship simulation. And,
Yeah. So the thing of the premise is that there's fake bees that they use because actual bees died, but the fake bees get hijacked and they start killing people.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's one, and then the other one we watched. Actually, we watched three now that I remember, because the other one was the entire history of you, which I actually had to write a paper on that, which is why I remember the title of the episode. And then the other one was one about a black guy working in a dystopia who tried to kill himself on TV, and then they hire him as a public speaker.
Oh, the one didn't that was the Daniel Kaluuya episode, right? Where he goes on like some kind of America's Got Talent type equivalent show.
Yeah.
Right. I've seen that clip where he gives the speech on the stage about how it's all really fucked up. That is the episode that particular performance is what got Daniel Kaluuya the role as the protagonist in Get Out. And then subsequently his role in Get Out is what got him his role in Black Panther. So that episode right there that you watched was the career-making performance for Daniel Kaluuya.
He wasn't bad, but his character was a hypocrite. Because like right after that, they offer him a job, and then we're left on wondering if he took it or not. Then we cut to him doing the same shtick in his new home to people watching the TV to talk about like environmentalism or some shit like that. I don't freaking know.
I mean, if the character's supposed to be a hypocrite, then the character's supposed to be a hypocrite. You can't be like, oh, a flawed character. No.
I'm not sure if he's supposed to be a hypocrite, because throughout the episode, he was from what I picked up, he was supposed to be the one who goes, against the grind, who's like, I don't like being a freaking robot.
I mean, the thing is, what I've heard of Black Mirror is that it's basically one of the most cynical shows on Earth. That it's about how everything sucks forever and will ever suck, and just kill yourself, right? That kind of show. So I'd imagine that would be a show that'd be pretty eager to be like, all right, even the people that are good are secretly bad, just waiting to be bad. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But so back to freaking Ebbing, Missouri. I can best describe that movie as what people perceive South Park to be as. So basically, or not South Park, even GTA, I guess, to be as, which is basically just a lot of cussing and then everybody sucks. And that's the movie.
Huh. I mean, what you said about particular characters. By the way, this movie's been out for like a month, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say we can spoil as much of it as we want. But the movie's been out for more than a month, hasn't it? It's been out for damn near a year, right?
I wouldn't know.
But yeah, we're golden on spoilers, so you can just go ahead and shoot. But we already actually talked about this movie a little bit the other day.
Yeah, and so our protagonist. Or do you want to continue? Because you can, if you want.
You go ahead and take it away, since this is your time on the show.
Alright. So yeah, the protagonist is... I'm not sure if they're supposed to be sympathetic. I'm gonna assume not, since they are freaking psychopaths. Like, Trevor, quality psychopath.
Really?
Well, not really. She does similar shit that Trevor would do, but I'm not sure if she actually enjoys it.
Yeah, because my understanding is you're talking about the main character played by Frances McDormand, yeah?
I don't know them by their real name. I'm talking about the woman.
A woman with reddish kind of hair. Short.
Yeah. She's like middle-aged.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm talking about her. So the whole thing about the movie is that it's about how she can't process that her daughter is dead and the cops can't do anything about it.
Rather
So,
that the cops won't do anything about it.
well, it's not that they won't. The sheriff Willoughby, he tries to do something about it, but the whole deputy, or not deputy, the freaking whatever, the police thing that they set up over there. He was or freaking I'm getting carried or getting
You're running into
sidetracked.
a problem in the game?
Yeah. So basically what happened is that the sheriff was trying to do good. He was actually trying to follow up on the case, but it went cold, and then every other cop just didn't give a shit. So that's where that went. So the woman buys 3 billboards near Ebbing, Missouri, to call him out on it.
So, are we saying that the sheriff... this is what I'm unclear on. That the sheriff could do something and didn't, or that the sheriff couldn't do something?
The sheriff couldn't do something because he tried to do something to help, but basically there was nothing to go on officially, and none of the people who could search did. So unless he actually went out and did it himself, there would be no one doing it. Then there's also the
He didn't
subplot
go
of
out himself and actually do it himself.
no, because he couldn't because he had cancer.
Okay, now... Huh. What kind of cancer? Wait...
I don't think they actually say. He just had cancer, and then he shot himself.
By the way, we should switch to races. But
Yeah.
The fact that he has cancer, by the way, is important to the detail you mentioned that the 2 deputies, the one that isn't Sam Rockwell, you said, killed himself. The fact that he has cancer is an important part of that fact, I should know.
It's supposed to be. It didn't really. Well, I don't know. From the note that he left, it didn't really seem like that big of a factor to him killing himself.
I mean,
Like,
they
the
don't have to
only-
spell it out.
yeah.
It's assumed that a character with cancer is going to be depressed about it. Because, I mean, for a lot of people, it is often a, well, not a lot of people, but in the bizarro world of fiction, cancer is death.
Yeah.
Remission is never successful in fiction.
But that, yeah. Go ahead.
You keep going.
But yeah, so the main character starts harassing the deputy. He dies. The whole even before he dies, the city turns against this woman and his son. Then we have a whole lot of stupid shit. There's a guy who runs the billboard shop. Is the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he's supposed to be gay or not, because Sam Rockwell keeps calling him gay, and he assaults him presumably under the thing of he's gay, but he didn't. He just seemed like a guy, so it seemed like I'm not saying that he needs to be the most gay person in Gayland, but
I
he
don't
just
think
didn't-
that's the important part of that story. I think the important part is that Sam Rockwell is not only a homophobe who beats up gay people, but the idea that he will do it merely on suspicion, without even fact.
yeah.
Which means he's not only homophobic, he's also violently insane.
So that he actually puts the billboard guy into hospital, and not long after he's also put into hospital because the protagonist woman sets the police building on fire with Molotov cocktails, because
There's
that's the
a
same
lot of
thing
fire
to
in
do.
this movie. I smell
Yeah.
symbolism.
I think from what I remember, her setting the police building on fire was supposed to be her repaying the police for setting the billboards on fire because she thought that it was the police.
Oh, okay. Do we know who set the billboards on fire?
Yes,
Was it the
her
police?
ex-husband.
It was who?
Her ex-husband.
Her ex-husband. Okay. Okay, her getting revenge for something that wasn't actually done to her makes me think that this character is designed to be maybe not unsympathetic, but not the straight hero of the story. The protagonist definitely, but not the hero. You know, you dig?
Yeah. There's no hero in this story.
I think that's kind of the idea.
No,
This sounds like the kind
there
of
is
story...
there is a hero in this story that is the little person
Yeah.
who she goes on a date with. He's a hero for freaking being able to bloody just be in the same building as that woman.
Okay, that's going a little far.
It's not.
She did lose a child, Addie.
She lost a child, but that's like I know that everybody mourns their own way. Setting a fire to the police freaking building is not the way to mourn.
What it sounds like is this movie is about different responses to trauma. Because the way you've described it, Frances McDormand's character, her daughter gets raped and killed. Her reaction is, fuck the world. Now, Sam Rockwell's character, he gets tormented by Frances McDormand's character, right?
No.
Oh, I mean, she sets his house on fire.
No, not the house. The Sam Rockwell is in the police building when the police building goes on fire.
Right, and she does other things to the police over the course of the movie, right?
No, it's just the billboards. Well, yeah, it's just the billboards. The only other assault that I can think of that she does, off the top of my head, is at the start of a movie, she's at the dentist, and the dentist wants to remove one of her teeth. So she grabs the dentist tool and then drives it through his thumb.
Okay, that's a character establishment right there. That is immediate. This character has anger issues. You want my tooth? I take your fucking thumb! It belongs to me now. And she puts it on her necklace.
No, she doesn't cut it off. She just drives it through the nail.
Ugh.
Yeah.
We should
And
probably
the thing
switch
is,
to races, by the way, so that we don't have
I'm going to erase start.
Okay.
But yeah.
This sounds like a fairly interesting movie to me. And I agree, this does sound like it's a bunch of assholes. But I mean, I don't know. A movie that's I don't know. It depends on what kind of tone it goes for, I guess.
But you could ask, so I couldn't understand what you thought was interesting in it.
Well, I'm partially interested by the idea of, like, this group of shitty people. But at the same time, I'm saying this full well knowing the ending already and knowing that it ends on a somewhat optimistic note from how you've described it.
The ending is shit. The ending would be better if it wouldn't cut off where it does.
Well, I mean, that's an
opinion.
artsy movie thing to do just in general, end the movie way too early on a, sudden cut to black.
Yeah.
You ever watch No Country for Old Men?
No, I don't watch artsy movies.
No Country for Old Men is an amazing movie, and it's not really that artsy. It's more of a
Does
thriller.
it have freaking Sam Jackson, I think?
No.
No.
It is Josh Brolin and Javier Bardem and Tommy
Okay,
Lee
then
Jones.
yeah, no.
And
Then yeah, no.
Woody Harrelson also is there, but don't worry, someone pops a cap in his ass before he can ruin the movie, so it's all good. But yeah, No Country for Old Men, yeah, fair warning, it also ends the story too soon. Though in its case, it's very deliberate, and if you sit there for a moment, you can figure out why they did it. I just ran over a biker, I'm sorry. I don't know, this sounds like an interesting movie. I'm probably not going to get around to watching it on my own.
Yeah, in my opinion, like, the thing is that there was still characterization to be done with the woman, because the movie ends on Sam Rockwell and the woman going to a rapist that Sam Rockwell found out was a rapist's house, and they're planning to kill him.
Oh.
And I feel like if we actually went there and got to see them killing him, and then something happened to the woman, like if she was liberated of the guilt or whatever, I feel like she could have been saved from just being shit, in my opinion. But she wasn't, because the movie cut off.
I'm actually happy with that kind of ending, because that leaves it up to you. I don't know, because, I mean, that's the kind of thing... She's basically becoming the Punisher right there, And that's kind of a thing that will vary from person to person, where you see that as a good ending or a bad ending. Do you see it as a good ending because Sam Rockwell has now come around to her side? Or do you see it as a bad ending that Frances McDormand's character is now corrupting others to be just as crazy as she is?
Oh, Sam Rockwell's character didn't need corrupting.
Oh, I know he was an evil bastard, but,
But yeah, like... I feel like it's a good ending for Sam Rockwell. It's a bad ending for everybody else.
Yeah.
Aside from that, yeah, whatever. I also played a bit of Metal Gear Rising.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did.
All right. How far did you get?
Not far at all. Like, second level.
Okay, by second level, it's got... Metal Gear Rising is one of those levels one of those games where it's difficult to tell what people mean when they say level. Are you counting the prologue as a first level?
No.
Okay, so you got Mistral, you beat Mistral, and then you moved on to the Mexican sewers level, right?
No. By second level, I mean... I'm not sure if it counts in the prologue. Like, I just got past the part where the Prime Minister is killed.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you were in the second level, okay. I counted that as the prologue, but I forgot about the dumb little training section they make you do first. So yeah, how about Rules of Nature, huh?
Rules of what?
Rules of Nature. Oh my god. Were you not listening throughout the fight with the Metal Gear Ray?
You cut out.
Oh, good. I'm roboting. I think it's on your end because I'm at 3 bars. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming in fine for me.
So I think Addy has unfortunately died while it's his time.
No, I'm here.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
here.
Right. So Addy, Rules of Nature, huh?
So when was I supposed to hear that? Because you cut out when you were telling me.
That's what I started with. Rules of Nature.
No, then you said that I wasn't paying attention somewhere, and then it cut out.
That's the song that plays when you fight the Metal Gear Ray, and it's the most well-known part of the game is when you're in the middle of the Metal Gear Ray fight.
That song.
Yeah, the chorus kicks in, and it's the biggest badass moment in
Yeah, the song's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the entire game has every boss fight has a song like that. I don't know if I would say any of them are as good as Rules of Nature, but there are some great fucking songs in that game. I'd say that the last boss fight theme might have a better theme, but other than that, Rules of Nature is pretty hard to beat.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the game's combat system right now?
I just wish the focus slashing wouldn't be so finicky.
I wouldn't be too precise with it. I'd just go manic. Because I mean, you want to go for the cool decapitations and everything, but the system was not built for that. The system was built for manic slashing.
Like I just wish that because it gives you the option to either slice with the stick or slice with the face buttons, and I wish I could slice with the stick, but every time I try it, Raiden cuts when I try to point somewhere, and he points somewhere when I try to cut. So
nope, just use the face buttons. Just use the face buttons. Don't even bother with that stick. It is way too weird.
Yeah.
Which difficulty are you playing on?
I tried on normal, and then everything kicked my ass, and I was like, I don't freaking want to deal with Metal Gears on this difficulty, so I didn't. So I'm now in easy.
The game's not that difficult on normal. I mean, are you
Well-
bothering with blocking or countering?
Yeah, that's the issue. I first when I first tried it on normal, the game didn't properly let me know when I was actually parrying or not. So I went onto easy, and then now I figured it out. So maybe I would be better off on playing on normal, but I don't know.
You'll know you'll get a parry when the little icon pops up to say hold left trigger for slow-mo. This really strong thing about the parries is the fact that pretty much, like, there are some strong parries in character action games. Metal Gear Rising, legitimately, it's if you get a parry, it's an instant kill, guaranteed. And it's insane. So
But yeah,
that is
that's
a
also
game where
also
you want to lay on the parries as much as you can.
Yeah, and then there's also the part where I couldn't consistently parry the hind Ds. So
Hind D's? Oh, the helicopters, right? The helicopters suck.
no, not the helicopters, the freaking bipeds that you walking in freaking 5.
Oh, the things
Oh, those
that
are the hind
move.
Ds?
The cow mechs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're rough. I don't bother with parrying those guys. I just beat on them. There's a specific move, I can't remember which. There's a specific move that's very good for hitting them, and they aren't very good at countering it. But yeah, Metal Gear Rising is a damn good character action game. I'd go so far to say it is one of the best.
Yeah, I also was very surprised by the whole not having stealth since Metal Gear.
There is stealth, but it's not important.
Yeah.
Like, Metal Gear Rising, like, even if you don't care for the Metal Gear series as a whole, I would recommend just about anybody to try Metal Gear Rising. Like, and as easy mode is in that game, I'd also say, like, even someone who doesn't even like character action, like Pink, could probably give it a shot and really like it. Like, that is a very, very fucking good game. Hell, I think Metal Gear Rising may have been the very first character action game I ever played. So that could be credited with starting my love for the genre.
But I just got freaking screwed over.
It happens. Oh, how long did you last against old Jetstream Sam there?
On normal, I lasted like for 5 minutes. On easy, he hit me once and I died. Explain that shit.
Easy as you don't have to bother with that fight.
Yeah. Because I was like, I'm gonna hit him like twice. And then I hit him twice and then he parried me.
Yep, Sam does not fuck around. And the great thing is, when you fight him later in the game, he's not any easier. It's the great thing about character action games. You will genuinely get so much better over the course of the game that by the time you reach the end, beating Sam is just perfectly well possible within your limits. They start you off in the deep end so that once you get to it properly, you'll know what you're getting into, you know? And you'll feel proud of the fact that you were able to improve that much.
But yeah, so I did that. And then I also played a bit of Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy.
Oh, right. That was free.
Yeah.
And not multiplayer still, right?
They can't make it multiplayer unless LucasArts comes back and freaking puts the servers back up.
Right. I think those servers are so old they run on GameSpy.
Yeah.
That's
Probably.
ancient shit right there, man. You'd have to get out the old necromantic books to make that shit happen. Yeah. So
yeah.
that's the one where you always see crazy clips online of people doing nonsense ninja combo shit, right?
Yeah. and people also only praise the multiplayer. They don't talk about the story. Which the freaking the OC character that you get to make is named Jaden. So
Oh, right, that's Jaden. I thought it was Kyle Katarn.
no, Kyle Katarn is your mentor.
Right. I knew he had to be in there somewhere. And Kyle Katarn originated in the N64 or PC first-person shooter Star Wars games, didn't he?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Star Wars video games are weird. They just kind of form their own mini-canon somehow.
Yeah. But yeah, that game didn't do well.
I can see that happening. That's one of those old games where if you want to be stylish and good at the game, you gotta put in time.
Yeah, people are saying that that game burst For Honor, and I don't see it. Like that game has freaking lightsaber combat that's just shooting.
Ha! I can't see it birthing For Honor, but it was an interesting idea to begin with, that's for sure. Does it have the directional block system? Is that where people are saying that?
No.
Why do people say that then?
No idea. Blocking is automatic.
Okay. You, Hattie, I hope you have something to talk about because I can't talk right now. Oh my god.
Yeah, that happened with me as well when I was first on this level, or whatever, this race.
All right, Addie was in a nice third place, and then Pink committed suicide, and I'm going the wrong way.
And now I'm not into it anymore.
Professional.
Yeah. So, yeah. This is the fourth Xbox Star Wars game that I don't plan on finishing. The list goes both of the colors which I bought, and then this game, and then Rogue Commando or whatever the hell the one they gave away for free more recently was.
Republic
the thing with
Commando, right?
Yeah, the thing with Coder is that I like their concept. I like them as far as I got with them. I don't have the time to play a freaking long ass RPG.
Yep. Old BioWare is long.
All BioWare is what? You cut out.
Old BioWare is long.
Yeah.
Like, I always feel like I gotta go through Dragon Age Origins at some point because I played through Inquisition, and it's just like, they're so old, so jank, you know. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that about it?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. Volcano, what you been up to this past week?
I've been playing some Super Smash Brothers. I made a couple of video edits for Pink's birthday and his twin sisters. And then last night we watched Iron Man. I'm trying to rewatch all the Marvel movies for Endgame. So
I'm not the only one who cheaps out on birthday gifts and just edits shit together.
Huh?
yeah.
Okay, how was the first Iron Man? Because I can't remember it for the life of me.
Oh, it's still really a good movie. Still like. Let's see. I'm like trying to think of what to talk about. I'm like,
It has Iron Man in it.
it has Iron Man. I still enjoy it. It's still a good origin for Iron Man. It's just kind of nostalgic because I was so tiny when it came out.
10 years ago, 11 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I was a
Holy
little kid.
shit! It's been that long since the first Iron Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm old, and I'm only 19.
I'm old, says possibly the youngest person on the podcast. Oh.
Volcano, how old are you?
18. I'm gonna be
Uh,
19 on the 30th of this month.
That is
I'm
a
gonna-
tight
I'm gonna-
competition right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 19 on the 28th, so
All right.
so I'm not the youngest yet. Yet.
Oh, youngins. Right. So what was I going to say? So it had Jeff Bridges in it, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Yeah,
He
the
was
dude.
the bad guy. Yeah, like Obadiah Stane or something.
Yep.
I already forgot his name.
Obadiah Stane. What a
Stane.
classic Marvel
Yeah.
villain.
Yeah, Phil Coulson's in there, so it's extra nice to see him again.
His debut. Did anyone think he would become a recurring character back then?
No.
I did not think he would get so popular. That's for sure.
Mm-mm.
He didn't get popular until Thor, because Thor was Thor and he was a highlight of it.
Mm-hmm.
The only part of Thor I remember Kat Dennings and I remember Natalie Portman. And I remember Thor throwing his mug on the ground. That's it.
I actually remember Thor pretty well, but I also rewatched it a lot. So
Why?
I like that movie.
I disagree. Ragnarok being mediocre was a breath of fresh air for me. Yeah. So, the first Iron Man, that one's kind of a funny one, because that is the movie that everyone, that was, above the age of, I don't know, 16 or 17 was, at the time, was like, oh my god, Robert Downey Jr.'s back, because he was known as one of the biggest train wrecks in Hollywood. And yet,
Yeah.
at least for me, like, I don't remember Robert Downey Jr. during his train wreck era, so for me, the movie, I don't see it as that. But I wonder if it's different now, like, now that each of us are older. Is it easier to perceive that movie as a comeback?
Yeah, I can see that.
So now that I'm older,
like
I do know the situation with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
But, I grew up, I never heard of Downey Jr. until that film.
Right.
So it doesn't really have that impact for me that it would for anyone else. Because
Yeah,
I've
for
only
me,
ever
it was
known
just-
Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark.
Yep, that's it's just like seeing Iron Man on the screen for the first time. And that's where my excitement came from.
Huh. And that establishes just how young we all are.
Yeah.
Gen Z or whatever. What even are we?
Ah. Well, I mean,
We are who we are. AJ, turn it up. Up.
No.
You thought you escaped Kesha, but it was me, y'all.
No.
Oh. All right. So I don't know what else there is to talk about with Iron Man because I remember so little of it. I don't even remember the first Iron Man suit design. Not the very first. I remember the very first. I remember the tin can, but I don't remember the first red and yellow Iron Man suit.
Oh, it's pretty simple. He still had a circle at that point. Now he does not. I don't know what it is in Infinity War.
Well, now I just assume it's an engine not connected to his heart at all.
Well, yeah.
Does anyone else wonder, like, Tony, it was established Tony was invincible to the Mind Stone because of it somehow. Would that not be a weakness that the pacemaker's gone now?
Oh man.
Might be.
Didn't think of that.
That's because I forgot about Iron Man 3. And rightfully
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember once that scene happened, I threw the biggest fit, and then I said it was the worst Iron Man movie, and they're like, "Why?" I was like, "That's not Iron."
so. Because they took away the one thing that
what
made Tony
him
Tony.
Iron Man. Yeah, I know. I was like, "What? Why did you do
That's not
They
Tony.
de-originated
That's
him.
not Mandarin. That's not AIM. Let's
that?"
keep
Yeah,
going.
it wasn't anything. I know. It was just. It was such a waste. Like everything they built up in the last two movies, they just went because he worked so hard to build a reactor, and then a new one because he was gonna die. And the third one, he's like, "Oh yeah, and I'm gonna get rid of it." I was like, "What?"
And all that so they could set up that kid Harley, and he's going to be coming back in Endgame for some reason. You guys heard
I
about
forgot
that too, didn't you?
Yes,
The
I
what
actually
now?
did.
The kid from Iron Man 3, Harley, he's coming back for Endgame.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Dear God, why?
I didn't watch the rest of the Iron Man movies. What?
What?
Mhm.
Where they just was Tony just like, you know what? I'm gonna remove this thing that makes it so I don't die because of the freaking shrapnel.
He finally got the surgery that removed the shrapnel, so he took out the pacemaker because he didn't need it anymore.
He got the shirt that removed the shrapnel.
Yeah, it made Tony feel real stupid in hindsight. But yeah, did Tony ever have the pacemaker in the comics? Or was that another one of those Ultimate only things?
I don't think he had a pacemaker in the Ultimate series. That
Right, he had brain cancer in the Ultimate series, right?
Yes. Pacemaker is classic Tony Stark.
Okay,
He actually had to wear the upper torso of the Iron Man suit.
Mm-hmm.
Addy, you idiot!
You killed me.
I didn't know such thing. You slammed into me.
I didn't. I was trying to go in a straight line.
Well,
then you
you
slammed
went on
me-
a straight
and then-
line, straight up. So I do not know very much about 616 Iron Man comics. I think I may have only read Devil in a Bottle. Which, I mean, that's the one Iron Man comic to read, but yeah.
Right.
Huh. That's a time capsule right there, Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
Changed everything.
Yeah.
Hitting Dark Knight in 1 year. That was a sign of things to come right there.
I still want a new blade.
Hey, maybe we'll get it eventually. Wesley Snipes is still calling for it.
Yeah,
No
Wesley
one's
Snipes
answering, but hey, he's calling.
Wesley Snipes is still lobbying for a new Blade movie.
Yeah. Well,
He wants to-
like a
he wants-
Washington politician.
He wants to have his youth back.
Yeah.
He wants to be killing Triple H again.
Oh man, that would be awesome if they bring back Vampire Triple H with his dogs. And the dogs are vampires too for some reason. Were the dogs actually vampires in the movie? I can't remember.
I don't know. I didn't watch the movie.
Addy, you've watched Blade 2, haven't you?
Not recently, no.
Do you remember if Triple H's pet Pomeranian was a vampire as well?
I don't think it was, but I'm not sure.
Aww. I want a vampire Pomeranian.
What they need to do is make a vampire whose pets are freaking great flying foxes. They're not quite bats. They're not quite freaking dogs.
Right, that way they
in-
avoid the
in-
vampire
in-
bat stereotype.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's vampire dog.
Right, so, other than that, what, you been doing anything else?
No, not really.
Alright.
Yeah.
And I guess that leaves me. I've done quite a bit this past week. I'll get the first one out of the way because I know that's the one everyone's going to want to talk about. Spider-Verse. I watched Spider-Verse.
What'd you
Whoa.
think?
I really enjoyed it. I
Very
think they're on a
nice.
serious path to redeeming Miles Morales as a character. And there was a video that Pink showed to me on the FOS that pretty well identifies why Spider-Verse does well for Miles. And it's at least partially because the MCU, Peter, stole everything that made Miles unique.
Right.
Mm.
So the Spider-Verse guy, this is something I was completely unaware of. I didn't know any of the stuff from Homecoming was Miles' stuff, so I very much did not know much about Miles as a character. But this forcing them to innovate, of course, screwed them over a little bit at first, but they really did turn it around and make it a lot better. Like, particularly, the biggest and the best change definitely is the change they made to Aaron Davis's character.
Right.
Which
Mhm.
they better retain that for the third Home movie, because they've already introduced Aaron Davis. He was in Homecoming. He was played by Donald Glover.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're gonna see that. By the way, did you guys notice that when Miles visits Uncle Aaron's apartment early in the movie, that Uncle Aaron is watching Community, and it's specifically a scene with Donald Glover in it.
I had no idea.
And even better than that, it's a scene where Donald Glover is wearing Spider-Man pajamas.
That's so funny. I missed that.
That's like a reference on many levels, you know? That's layers.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reference on 5 different layers of irony.
Yeah, it's a Shrek onion of references.
The thing about the Shrek Onion thing is that every time there's anything that's more complex than a word, my literature teacher is like, this X topic is kind of like an ogre. It has layers.
That's the worst and the best. That sounds like a good teacher right there.
Yeah, he did a whole stand-up comedy routine about the Nazis once. Like, it wasn't supposed to be a stand-up comedy routine, but the way he talks about things made it to be one.
I'm imagining the full Rodney Dangerfielding right here. Hey, what's up about the Nazis? They're doing the things and the gas and the blitzkriegs and the things.
It only fell short of actually going out getting a wig and a freaking Nazi officer uniform.
One, they did a slapstick routine in it, like falling over, doing pratfalls.
No, like he kept freaking doing stick hiles and yelling and stomping on the ground like they were ordered around like this, and then he started doing it.
Oh yeah, okay. In America, you couldn't do that, by the way.
Yeah.
The teacher goes ahead and does that, and the principal just walks in and is like, "Hey, you're fired. Get the fuck out. I'll teach the rest."
He is the principal.
Oh,
he is the principal.
Oh well, okay. The teacher pulls out a mirror and he looks in it and he's like, "Hey, you're fired." The Superintendent Chalmers walks in.
Yeah.
That's some good shit right there. So, yeah, Spider-Verse is really fucking good, and yeah, that movie is loaded to the brim with villains. I thought going in that Doc Ock would be the villain, because I've heard so much about the big twist of Doc Ock being who she is, which, fuck it, we'll spoil it. Yeah, Doc Ock's a woman, that's the big shocker. Yeah, that happens like a quarter of the way into the movie. For everyone to act like that was the big twist, it's like, Now, the bit that everyone was like, hey, wait a second, was the fact that she's like, oh, no, my friends call me Liv, my enemies call me Doc Ock. And then Aunt May calls her Liv.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, hang on, there's a story here. They're going to expand on this in the sequel, right? And I thought for a second, no way, Aunt May and Doc Ock dated in the comics. That's probably the only explanation we need.
Why do they call you Dr. Octopus? And then she just points at a map of Japan.
I thought you were going to go for a different joke there. I thought you were going to go for it. Oh, that's because I sleep with octogenarians. Crickets chirping in the background.
I understood that reference.
It tuned out for me. I didn't even hear.
So, yeah, that's a really fun arrangement of villains. Kingpin is in full force in that movie. This is a good year for Kingpin between Daredevil season 3. Daredevil season 3 and Spider-Man the video game. And this,
Yeah.
It's a good year for Miles between this and the video game. It was a good year for some Spider-Man side characters.
Mm-hmm.
One could say it's a good year for Spider-Man overall, but Spider-Man's been having a good couple of years altogether outside of the comics. I don't know. Aunt May's dying again, so things must be on track. This is going to be very bad, Addy. The whole thing I had there. Liv Schreiber, by the way, voices Kingpin. You cannot tell it's Liv Schreiber. I was not expecting him to be a talented voice actor at all.
Yeah.
He's like,
I only remember him as Sabretooth.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the only movie I know him from, so I didn't have great expectations. But the whole thing, a whole lot of celebrity voice actors don't actually put on a voice when they voice a character in an animated film, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Liv
Yeah.
Schreiber was fucking going for it, man. He was making Kingpin full on, I'm gonna make you sleep with the fucking fishes. Which, who else here grew up on the 90s Spider-Man cartoon?
I
did not.
I didn't, but I've watched it.
Yeah. Same boat.
I actually did watch it while it was on, but I wouldn't know the English voices because Hungary.
Yeah. So when I think of Kingpin's voice, I think of the voice from the cartoon, and he was kind of like New England, a little bit foppish there.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like him having the Italian accent better. It kind of fits his whole self-made man, came from the streets thing, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
So Kingpin was handled really well. I thought Doc Ock was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the weird tentacles. I know you guys weren't big on them because it made her look a little less intimidating and that they would be weaker. I thought they looked gross and creepy. So I thought that worked really well. The thing that freaked me out about Doc Ock's tentacles in that movie is the fact that they pump. That's what made me go like, ugh. Here's the part that'll make alright, Addy, you know the parts from Dragon Ball when Cell eats people through his tail?
Yes.
That's what Doc Ock's tentacles start doing when they're holding someone. Now we don't.
Doc Ock's tentacles are.
They aren't draining them, but it looks that kind of gross, organic, creepy.
Doc Ock's tentacles also just gigantic penises?
Well, I mean, they've got big hands on the end, so if yours looks like that, you should see a doctor. But no. The different Spider-Men were handled all really well and really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see why everybody comes out of that movie like, that was a lot of fun. I hope they make a sequel just so I can see more Spider-Noir.
Yeah.
Is there a face-off joke?
No, but there's plenty of Nicolas Cage-isms.
Nick Cage was wasted.
Yeah. I don't know. Nick Cage clearly had a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys got to see the behind the scenes. Nick Cage is going for it when he's recording those lines.
Oh yeah, I've seen them. It was amusing.
I will say one touch I felt they should have added, and it would have made the movie better. So throughout the movie, Miles Morales has lots of hip hop theme songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is one scene in particular where Peter, the old man Peter, not the young one,
Mm-hmm.
gets a hair metal type theme song to indicate he's old. You know?
Yeah.
And I felt like it would have been cool if they went ahead and did that for all the Spider-Man. And, like, I could see...
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I think the only Spider that wasn't very fun was Spider-Gwen. And that's because
Yes.
they should have leaned into her punk aspect more. She should have been more punk. Because otherwise she was a bit lacking for character other than being the serious one, you know?
Spider-Gwen's supposed to be punk.
She's a drummer for a punk band. That's her alter ego.
Oh.
Yeah.
She also loses all the hair on the right side of her head later in the movie, though that's an accident. She didn't mean to do it. It works for her, though.
I really don't like that hairstyle.
I do. So,
I
fuck
think
off,
it
I'm
I
right.
think it was garbage.
So if they would have had like a punk song for her, if Spider Noir would have got like a little jazz thing or a little crooner thing,
Hmm.
Right.
give old...
They do give her a little like punk instrumental when she gets debuted, but it's not an actual song.
Yeah.
Well, they had 10 different fucking mumble rap songs on the soundtrack. They could have... Maybe they should have fucking paid out...
They should have expanded into something decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kids don't like decent these days. They want dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know. What would they go with for Spider-Pig, though? Because, like, old Penis Parker, she could just get, J-pop, but what would they do for Spider-Pig?
Penis Parker should have gotten Baby Metal.
Look, you can't tell me you saw her name spelled out and didn't read that. Like, they had to know, going in. Why didn't they change that name? Seriously.
It's an excellent question.
Throw an extra N in there, and it'll be fine. Why did you only have one N? And an I? Oh, that was terrible.
Penile Parker.
Yeah. And of course, it's the one of the two female Spider-Men, of course, that gets the name that resembles penis. Doesn't even...
She was... Should I make a bad joke?
Go for it.
She was named after the things she likes.
Okay, let's go back and pretend that you didn't say that, because she's very clearly the youngest, and very clearly underaged. So let's pretend you didn't say that.
I have no idea how old she is, so...
She's a Japanese character, and she's anime, so that means... What?
14. I see, 14.
Yeah. 14 unless she needs to be 18, says Japan.
14 unless she needs to be 18, then she's 16.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Dead or Alive released this week.
Yeah.
Just completely unrelated. The visuals in that movie, by the way, are absolutely incredible, which is a thing that everybody's praising Spider-Verse for, and I'll throw it in too. I wish that dumbass "What's Up Danger" song wasn't playing in the scene it was playing in, because that scene is way better than the song it got.
All the scenes with music would have been better with different music.
Yeah.
I will say, the licensed music, all of it is worse than the actual OST soundtrack.
Right.
That's because it's mumble rap, innit?
Yes, all the licensed music is mumble rap.
I blame Miles Morales.
I mean,
They
they're
can-
all
they can try to
Miles' themes, but I don't know if Miles personally picked them. I mean, he could have, I guess, but,
But
what was I going
they could have at least went with freaking classic rap.
Well, they could have, but that would have been too good.
Yeah.
Kids these days don't remember classic rap. Are you kidding me? Sometimes, like,
Look
you
at
bring out...
look.
You bring
Look,
out
I
Ice
just
Cube,
want-
I bet you bring out Ice Cube, and kids these days are like, "Why are you bringing on the old people music, Grandpa?"
Look! I just want Spider-Man to kick people's ass to cream.
Okay, that would actually be good. No, he needs to stop a bank heist while Cream is playing.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, Eddie. You're actually describing like half of Luke Cage as a series. Because, like, at least 2 or 3 out of Luke Cage's licensed songs that got used in that show were Wu-Tang.
Ah,
Like, there's particularly, there's one scene that's, I want to say the first big fight scene is Bring the Ruckus, but there's another Wu-Tang fight scene in season 2 with Bushwhacker, and I don't remember what Wu-Tang song they used for that one.
the best thing about this whole Wu-Tang talk is I just had a schoolmate come up to me this past week. He's like, Have you heard of this new band? They're really good. They're called the Wu-Tang."
Oh, yeah! Oh, man.
Fresh on the scene.
It reminds me of when Nirvana did a cover of The Man Who Sold the World. And at one of his concerts, David Bowie did Man Who Sold the World. And someone in the audience said, "Oh, man, that was really daring of you to do a cover of Nirvana." That is just awkward on so many levels. Like, it's really bad for David Bowie, because it'd be bad if he did it after Cobain's death, too. Because then he can't correct them.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Now, Pink, my understanding, you were not really a fan of Miles prior to... Well, you weren't a fan of Miles in any regard. Would you say Spider-Verse has redeemed Miles, or do you think more work needs to be put in?
I think Spider-Verse absolutely redeems Miles. It's like, I was not a fan of him since the start. Thank you, Bendis. That's all your fault. I didn't see any value in the character, because to me, it was just what they said they were doing. It's Spider-Man, but he's like black and Latino now. So it's like, yeah, what you've done is you've put color into Spider-Man for no reason other than because you wanted to. There's nothing else to the character, it seemed like, because, you know, in the Ultimate Comics, it's like, oh yeah, he just happened to be bitten by a spider just immediately after this original Spider-Man died. So, oh, guess what? Now he's got the spider powers, and there's a new Spider-Man now, and it's him, and there's really nothing connecting the two. It's just a complete replacement. But the way Spider-Verse handled how Miles would become the new Spider-Man, it completely blasts everything Bendis did out of the water.
Did Spider-Man die due to radioactive semen?
Shut up, Addy.
The strongest choice was having Miles become Spider-Man Jr. before Peter dies.
Yes.
That way, like, the whole thing Ultimate Comics had with, can Miles live up to Peter's legacy? It was never really in question whether that was important or not. It didn't seem like it mattered. Whereas here it gives Miles a really strong motivation, because legitimately, one of my favorite lines from the movie is, "I won't let Spider-Man die again."
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
And in the Ultimate Comics, Spider-Man was never the big celebrity that he was in Spider-Verse. There was absolutely no reason for Ultimate Universe Miles to have any baggage to live up to, because that Peter didn't leave behind the legacy that normal Peter would. Why are all the GTA races transformed? Those are the worst. They're god-awful.
Yeah. I don't know.
They're getting double money, though, so I'm going with them. It's double cash.
At least there's one positive.
That's a weird thing about Spider-Verse's portrayal of the Ultimate Universe is, oh, Spider-Man's super popular. What?
Right?
The Ultimate Spider-Man...
Like in this universe, he's the only one there.
Yeah. And the Ultimate version of Spider-Man we see in Spider-Verse is pretty much Batman.
Yeah.
I would say Batman with merchandise, but I think Rebirth Batman even has dumb merchandise. Which is never explained, because Rebirth is weird, but you know.
Oh man, I want the Spider-Man Beyond.
Yeah. Hey, the fucking post-credit sequence, guess what it is, Addy?
Spider-Man Beyond. 2099.
2099.
Yes!
He's here, and he's voiced by Oscar Isaac.
That
Yeah.
doesn't tell me anything.
And let me tell you, that's the beautiful moment with a lot of comic book post-credit scenes. Is me sitting there in my living room, I was going, yeah, $20.99! And my parents and my sister are there, and they're like, what the fuck?
Didn't you hit $20.99 though?
I don't think I've never even read the $20.99 comics. I don't think I liked Punisher $20.99, but that's about it.
Ah.
I did see a little bit of the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, which was basically the cartoon equivalent of $20.99. And that sucked,
Yeah.
but that was because they were trying to make $20.99 Peter instead of Miguel.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I read...
Ew.
It used some dumb bullshit, like, it took Peter from our time and sent him forward into the future. And that's what they did. And
No, boo.
it's like Spider-Man 29 works partially because of Miguel.
Yeah, I actually read one of the comic runs of $20.99. I think it was the old one, like the original one. And yeah, what I read of it was alright, far as I could tell.
It was decent for its time.
Probably better than the other $20.99s.
Absolutely. Spider-Man 2099 was probably the only good one in the 2099 line. Granted, I never read Ravage. But X-Men, terrible. Hulk, terrible.
Punisher and Doom.
Doom! I don't think I've actually read Doom.
Doom 2099 is considered weird because Doom wins and takes over the world, actually. Unironically.
I did hear about that, though.
Yeah.
Because it's like, in the end of the 2099 universe, it's Doom ruling the world alongside Miguel, and they both wield Mjolnir.
That sounds really interesting.
It's interesting, but it's just a little too out there for me. It's like there's no conflict in the end of their universe.
That's the problem with Doom winning, is that Doom, in the universes where Doom actually does win, he's actually pretty good at keeping the world safe.
Right.
And I mean, even with Mjolnir, that only makes it worse. Also,
Is this when I circle back? Is this when I circle back to Doctor Doom being happy now and calling himself Doctor Mood?
Well, I mean, if you want to. Spider-Man with Mjolnir is weird to me.
Right.
Because, I mean, part of the whole thing, I think, with Mjolnir should be, like, I don't think just anyone of pure heart needs to be able to wield it, because then there's so many Marvel characters that they can say are of pure heart, such as Spider-Man.
Right.
I like it when they go further and say, not only is he pure of heart, he has to be willing to take a life. Because then that excludes Peter and a ton of other characters, you know?
Right.
And
So Punisher with Mjolnir is what
it
you
makes
want.
sense for the characters that have wielded Mjolnir. Cap's willing to take a life. Thor's willing to take a life. Storm's willing to take a life. Peter, nah. Now we're just nerding out about comic lore, aren't we? We've stopped talking about
Something Punisher with Mjolnir.
Yeah, Punisher, pure of heart.
Pure of heart all the way.
Pure hatred of heart. Pure hatred.
Pure hatred.
It's still pure.
It's pure something, all right.
Oh, man. Oh, so all of a sudden, every criminal in the world gets struck by lightning, and we're like, what the hell?
Simultaneously. It's like the Thanos snap.
Oh my gosh.
Punisher with the Infinity Gauntlet. Go fuck yourself.
Oh yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Boy.
Punisher with the Infinity Gauntlet is just Death Note.
Yeah. Marvel. I want to see Marvel Ryuk.
Alright, Pink committed suicide.
Context.
Again. This is the third time this month, Pink.
I just can't stop.
Get out the Necronomicon.
I see you trying to act cheeky.
It's the only thing I can do.
So what do you think of the big finale for Spider-Verse?
I thought it was a lot. I thought it was an interesting one. I'm curious whether will they do a sequel. I feel like they have to do a sequel after how huge of a hit it was.
Haven't they already said that they're working on a sequel that's gonna feature all the Spider Women?
I did not hear anything about that. Addy, you fucked both of us.
Yeah, I did.
Context again.
It might
That
not
was
be
a-
official. I might
that was-
have only seen rumors, but I feel like I've seen some sort of rumor out there that said that Spider-Verse sequel is in the works and it will be featuring all the Spider ladies of the universe.
Well, I mean, they could do Jessica Drew, but I don't really consider her a
Isn't-
spider. I consider her Spider Woman, but I don't consider her Spider Woman in the same way as Gwen.
Yeah,
An actual
I don't
Isn't
want
that-
Jessica
Spider-Woman.
Drew.
Isn't that
Honestly,
only
not a
like
big fan of hers, so I'd like to not see her.
isn't that only like 5? Isn't that only like 5 to 10 Spider Women though? And there's a Spider Lady, the freaking
Silk, they can do Silk.
woman.
I don't like
Oh, yeah,
Silk.
they can do
but-
Yeah, I could do her. I like her.
Isn't Silk's primary character trait just that she wants to bone Peter?
Something daddy.
I think I don't remember.
wasn't Peter Silk's like original clone or some shit?
Silk is her own hero. She's a Korean chick, but I think her main thing is that her pheromones are built in such a way that she wants to nail Peter.
Ah,
vice
but I'm
versa.
mixing her up with someone.
So, like, the
Right.
whole thing is that they can't stop doing it anytime they're around each other, so they have to stay away.
Ah,
Which is the most transparent, fan servicey, like, not trash ever, you know?
Mhm.
Nah. I don't know. Who else is there? There was wasn't there a Brazilian Spider-Woman?
Spider Girl.
Yeah. Well, they could do Mayday Parker. They could bring her in.
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
still. I guess they can still use Penis Parker and Spider Gwen.
Yeah.
Gwenpool, does she count?
Probably not.
No.
No, she's not a spider person.
She's technically not even a Deadpool, but I'll continue to insist she's a Deadpool because it makes her
She-
fans angry.
She's a pool person. She plays snooker every night.
Yeah. Yeah. We are meandering on this topic so hard. Yeah, Spider-Verse is a really fucking good movie, and at first I was doubtful when I first heard that they were going to be putting an animated Spider-Man movie in the theater. When I first heard they were going to be putting an animated Spider-Man movie in the theaters, I was like, why? Because I'm used to the animated DC movies, you know?
Oh yeah.
And which, I mean, there's some good ones by all means, but the one time they tried to put one in the theater, it was the awful Killing Joke,
What was?
Oh no.
which is like only a third Killing Joke, and it's 2/3 Batman sleeping with Barbara.
Ugh. I never did.
Bruce Timm, what is wrong with you? How can you be so amazing at everything else, but when you touch Batman, you're like, oh, he's got to be with Barbara. Oh,
Is
I gotta
he-
put them together. And he's like
Is
sitting
he
behind
having-
the writer's desk, and he's got an action figure of Batman and an action figure of Batgirl, and he's just slamming them together.
Oh my gosh.
But W, is she boning or is he boning Barbara before or after she's paralyzed?
Yes.
I see.
The worst comic panel I've ever seen is from the comic continuation of the animated series, where Barbara walks up to Bruce and says, I'm pregnant. And Bruce says, I'll
Uh-oh.
congratulate Dick. And then Barbara says, Dick's been out of town for 2 months. That is awful on so many levels I can't even say.
Yeah.
While you were sleeping, I put a probe in your dick and sucked out your semen.
And we're back to that again. Oh my god, this car selection.
Yeah, it's all on us. It's all on us.
I'll take the Ford 72 Pinto.
I'll take what I think is a Ferrari it's a Ferrari.
Right, so let's just go ahead and move on from Spider-Verse. It's a really good movie. I hope there's a sequel. I hope the sequel is good. And I picked up 2 more entries out of the Total War series. So, Total War, it's a series that's a bunch of historical strategy games that try to be as realistic about battlefield strategy as possible. I only own one. I previously only owned one game in the series, and it was the non-historical one. Total War Warhammer, which is incredible. And the whole series was on sale, so I was like, hell, why not? So I picked up 2 of the historical entries. Rome 2 and Shogun 2. And I haven't put too much time into them, but so far they seem pretty interesting. I was worried they'd be really mundane, going from fantasy to history, but they found a way to still make each nation feel unique. And
what nation has what special powers?
I just realized that
Rome gets a bonus to killing barbarians. I kid you not.
Rome gets a boner for killing barbarians.
They get a boner for killing barbarians too, yes. It's a public order bonus, I believe, or a happiness bonus, something like that. And conversely, the not the Gauls, but the Gothic tribes get a bonus for stealing shit. So, if you need an encouragement to go steal shit from Rome, there it is. Big money. But even the armies are typically structured in varying different ways. And boy, if there was a game to remind you that, yeah, back in those days, the Europeans were really stupid about warfare, yeah, that's your game. Because you can play as the African or Middle Eastern armies, and they're usually pretty heavy on their ranged warfare and their chariots. Because they're not idiots. But if you play a European army, you can either go with, the various barbarians tribes, the Gauls, the Goths, the Celts. And they're all naked dudes with axes. And then you go with the Romans, who are just angry armored dudes with swords.
Aren't like 40% of those people you mentioned before Rome just Vikings, though?
Kind of, yes.
Well, yeah, what did you expect from Vikings?
Well, I knew that the Vikings were very fond of low armor and nothing but melee, but still, it's a firm reminder. Wow, ranged combat really was not a thing back in those times, in Europe.
Oh, yeah, no, it was mostly an Asian thing, and an Asian thing. If you have somehow access to Hungary, they might have archers, but that's about it.
I don't know. With Hungary, it's difficult to tell. Let me tell you. The funny thing, I'm learning more about history, because I consider Rome and Japan 2 of the probably the nations in history that I know the least about. And this is just a firm reminder to me. And I'm learning a lot, but I'm also remembering, oh right, Alexander the Great really just could not keep his hands out of every country in the Mediterranean, could he?
Not until he died.
Yeah.
And even then.
Pretty much every...
And even then, everyone else screwed up his kingdom.
Yeah. Legitimately, out of the playable nations, 4 are listed as successor kingdoms, and 4 are listed as Greek independent states. 4 are listed as former Greek colonies. Those are 12 separate armies that all use Greek political systems and Greek military units. Jeez. And it's weird playing each of them, because basically what differs between each of those nations is who are your bullet catchers. Which is a mean term to say, but it's accurate. Because each of them has here's your heavily armored infantry and your high-level cavalry. They're all Greek dudes that are pale as hell. Oh, and here's your bullet catchers. They have dark skin. Feel free to be uncomfortable. Because it's the Greeks.
I mean, it is historically correct.
Yeah.
People were racist, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's a thing it's a myth that kind of gets spread nowadays that racism was invented during the colonial days. No, the Romans were super fucking racist. And so were the Greeks. Because, Rome has a similar thing, where Rome has a mechanic where when you take over a land belonging to another country, you can just take their people and force them to be bullet catchers for you. Even though your army's already heavily armored, so defense isn't a problem. Ooh. But yes, military tactics in Rome too seem very different, because if you're playing as Egypt or like the Seleucid dynasty, which is the Greek dynasty that took over the Middle East, you're going to get a lot of ranged guys, so things won't change too much for them. But with the Romans, yeah, you're controlling human tanks, and that's all you can do, because their cavalry, they don't have much cavalry, and it's not great, and their ranged selection is absolutely piss poor, because they apparently didn't have bows. They just had assholes throwing spears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're fighting
Javelin.
Egyptians and African dudes that have bows, and you're just trying to chuck, lances at people.
Yeah, I believe Alexander's to blame for that as well.
Yeah, the Greeks also, like if you play as the Greeks that are just Greeks, just plain Greeks, straight Greeks, they also suck at range. They just have spear throwers. So, yeah, it's weird playing as the European factions. Artillery wasn't even really much of a thing back then. Half of it was static. So, it's funny going back and playing these basically barbaric armies, all just going to get, not even bothering with tactics half the time. Just like, alright, I got a sword, you got a sword, let's smack each other until one of us falls over. And then there's Shogun, which is very interesting. Shogun actually divides itself into 3 eras. The Rise of the Samurai era, which I do not know what period that in Japanese history that's considered to be.
I believe. Well, I don't really know an actual date, but I do know that it was around 1100, I believe, or so, that the katana started getting made.
Yep, that's exactly when.
All right,
The
so
start date
yeah.
for that campaign is like 1127 or something.
So yeah, probably there around the time that the I don't remember the originator's name, the Tekai or something like that.
Yeah.
Got out in favor of the improved katana. And this is when my love of Japan shows, because I don't stop at being a weeaboo. I actually do really. Japan does really interest me, Japanese history. So
yeah, part of what I was going in with Shogun 2 was thinking, even if I don't like this game, we can record this for a single touchless co-op. And it'll just be me and Addy, unless Pink's really into samurai secretly.
I don't know, Pink.
I've never seen Samurai Jack.
Shame on
I do
you.
enjoy historical stuff, though, so if I find the free time and you guys are doing it, I'll probably hop in.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, the first campaign is set way back in 1100, and since it's pretty much just medieval times, it uses pretty much medieval warfare, which is you've got peasants who are, again, just there to be bullet catchers, and the actual damage is done either by peasants with bows or by samurai on horseback, which is pretty much the equivalent of medieval warfare, which is peasants there as bullet catchers, and any real damage is going to actually be done by peasants with bows or knights. Then it moves over to the Sengoku period, which is when there's 1500, right?
Yeah, it's 1400 to 1600.
Right, so then the Japanese army started actually getting state militaries together and training people rather
It also
than
started.
putting peasants in a field. They actually bothered to train their soldiers.
They also started to import European weaponry, so cannons and other such. Would that be considered artillery?
Yes.
I guess so.
Cannons
Yeah,
are
but
super
other such.
artillery.
Yeah, cannons and other artillery got important. For example, actual guns.
Yeah, arquebuses, which were considerably better than the handguns that Europe was using around that time, which were wildly inaccurate. Like, I got to see a little bit of Medieval 2 while I was looking over the games, and it's funny, the listing for the first gun unit for European powers in Medieval 2 is, these guns suck and are way worse than bows at actually killing people, but they're loud and make big black powder when they go off, so it scares people. You're not actually using this gun to kill anyone, you're just hoping you'll scare the shit out of them.
Yeah. And then what's the third period? Did they give you?
I just want to go over the Sengoku period's tactics a little bit.
Yeah.
So Sengoku seems to be the one that offers the most diverse tactics. There wasn't really a defining strategy at the time, so you could go with like all samurai. You could try and go with a efficient state military. You could go with heavy cavalry. You could go all guns. Go all artillery. Go all
What did
archers.
you?
Whatever you wanted. You could even make an army of ninja.
Who did you go with?
I have not started a Sengoku period campaign.
Ah,
The
and who are
Date
your?
clan is one of the options. So
Yes.
I'm not touching them until we record.
All right, because I was going to like, depending on who you want to be. If you want to be Monkey King, then there's probably the Toyotomi, and the other good one, a guy who was actually known for his smarts, was the Tiger of Kai, Takeda Shingen.
Yes, the Shingen are an option. I believe.
And then
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the Satsuma?
Setsuma. I believe I do, but I don't remember if they are represented in Sengoku Basara.
The Satsuma clan is the one that is known as the overpowered one, the one that's
Oh,
stupid
the one?
easy.
Ah,
Because
I see.
Yeah, they have all of their katana units are buffed, which means that just throw in a lot of samurai and you win.
Yeah. The thing with the Shingen, you actually saw Takeda Shingen in Jujutsu Kaisen.
No, I haven't, but I've seen him in Shogun too, actually.
No, you did see him in Yukimura Den. Remember the guy that Yukimura's death turned into? That you thought that was him, that you thought was him in costume? Red dude?
Fedora Man. I don't remember, no.
Yeah. Yeah, do you not remember the part where Fedora Man turned into a guy in a red costume with a gigantic ass axe?
Oh, yes, him, right.
Yeah, yes, that guy, the X guy, is Takeda Shingen.
Okay. So I assume that Yukimura is like one of that guy's guys then?
Yeah, probably. He was his right-hand man, I believe.
Okay. The game actually does have legendary units, and Date Masamune is one of them.
Ah, yes.
Yep.
Then they probably also have Katakura Kojuro, who was the guy who raised him.
They don't actually. Each clan gets
Oh.
one legendary unit, and Masamune is Date's clan.
Oh, I see. Then for the Shingen, it will probably be Takeda.
Yeah. They, of course,
And then-
also threw Oda Nobunaga in there because they had to.
Yeah.
The
Other one
guy
that was-
out of that period of history that a lot of people will actually know.
Yeah. Other one that you might want to look into is the guy we went with, the guy who used the Takusa sword. Remember? Yeah,
Dakusa
Uesugi
sword? What?
Yeah, the guy we bought the duck for.
Oh, right. Was that not Preacher Man?
No, that was Uesugi Kenshin.
Oh, I think I saw him. I think the Uesugi clan is one of the options. But yeah, what I wanted to go... Yeah, the Sengoku era is very clearly the one they put the most development into, which makes sense because I believe the Rise of the Samurai and Fall of the Samurai campaigns were added later. And that's the one I'll probably be putting the most time into, though clearly all three of them received quite a bit of development. The third and last period depicted in the game that you can play through is the Meiji period.
The
right?
Meiji,
right. That's when
Yeah.
America, England, and France started interfering, right?
Yeah, the Meiji Restoration was the time when Emperor, I'm not sure if he was actually titled Emperor, but whatever, the Emperor Meiji outruled the samurai and basically told them to either stand down or he will kill them personally. So
Right, and the whole focus of the Fall of the Samurai campaign is the civil war between the Imperial and Shogunate factions.
yeah,
And it's a little more simple. It's like more or less straight up. If you pick the Shogunate faction, you're going to have some guns and some artillery, but the main meat of your forces are going to be heavily armored samurai and crazy ass berserkers. Conversely, the Imperial side is going to focus more on artillery and gunpowder. So, unlike the Sengoku era, where pretty much every clan got their own different spin, it's a little more just kind of basic. But it works for the era, because I don't imagine there was a whole lot of diversity in tactics between each clan back then, right?
yeah, there probably wasn't. I think they killed most people who would object to teaming up against Meiji.
Yeah. Because, I mean, at that time, most gun lines would have already defined warfare. Hell, that was probably one of the last wars that were fought with gun lines, yeah, wasn't it? Because,
Yeah.
then World War I was like, you know what? How about trenches? And that's Shogun 2. Me and Natty got to nerd out a little bit there. I feel bad for Pink and Volcano. So, I don't remember if I did anything else this week, but if I did, let's just pretend I didn't. Oh, no, here's one I can get in real quick. I put some time into the Nintendo Entertainment System virtual console type thing that the Switch has. I played the classic Super Mario Brothers for a little bit. Boy, that game is basic. I forgot there was only one power-up in that game. There's only the Fire Flower. I thought it at least had something else, but no, that's just it. But yeah, that one's a classic. Still a lot of fun. Controls are still very slippery. I did not know you could sprint in the classic Mario games until playing that.
Yeah. Did you play Hudson?
Did I play what?
Adventure Island. Hudson's Adventure Island. The second one.
I'm sorry, I had to do something real quick. I missed completely what you said. I heard something about an Adventure Island.
Yeah, did you try out Adventure Island 2 yet?
No, I don't know if it's on there.
Oh, because Adventure Island 2, from what I remember, is basically, well, it's a basic platformer like the first Mario, but it has more power-ups, so it's better than just that. It also has mounts.
Huh.
Yeah, it was fun. I think I still have it on my phone.
I'll have to check for that, hoping I remember it. So I played one other NES game, and I played River City Ransom. And that's not a game we talk about too much anymore. So River City Ransom is one of the old beat-em-ups. You play as a tiny little guy, and you go beat the hell out of some other students at your school and whatever, because apparently they stole your buddy's girlfriend. And that's the game. That's it.
Yeah.
That's about as classic as it gets, huh? What I found interesting was, first of all, several of the enemy types, when you beat them, the game has a dialogue system, but it mostly only goes off when somebody gets killed. Or rather, knocked out, I guess, since it's kids beating each other up. But when you knock out...
No, it's killed.
When you knock out the generic variety of students, you know what they yell?
What?
Barf. They
Barf?
just yell barf.
Okay.
And that is some old school NES hilarity. Because every single person you beat up is barfing immediately upon being knocked out, or they are yelling barf when you knock them out. And I don't know which I like better. And that game, I should mention, the gameplay structure of that is you go and you beat people up with punches and kicks. They will bring weapons onto the stage. After you knock them out, you can pick up their weapon and you can beat the other guys with it or throw it. And you pick up money from every guy you knock out, and you then go to stores that you find and spend the money on food, and when you eat the food, it increases your stats. And you have several different stats associated with punching, kicking, using weapons, throwing at weapons, what have you. And what I'm thinking throughout the entire thing is, this game is proto-Yakuza. River City Ransom is just straight up proto-Yakuza. So that was really weird seeing that kind of game concept has been around for that long. And I kind of feel dumb for having never noticed it before. And that's about it for what I've done this past week. So all we've got left is Devil May Cry 5 and Captain Marvel. I'd assume we should save Captain Marvel for last because we're going to be spoiling the hell out of it.
Alright, sounds good.
I'm hesitant about talking about Devil May Cry 5 because I've been talking so damn much in the past 10 minutes. I'm getting lightheaded. But... ooh, gotta catch my breath. Devil May Cry 5 is... I will say it is the greatest character action game of all time. It has beaten Devil May Cry 3.
For now.
It took a long time for somebody to knock Devil May Cry 3 off the Devil May Cry mountain. Though I wouldn't say Devil May Cry 3 was the previous holder of Best Character Action Game. I'd wager that it was either Metal Gear Rising or Bayonetta. But Devil May Cry 5 is now the current Best Character Action Game.
I like how it got out to it. You said it was either But
You have no idea what it was.
I said that the current... I said the previous best character action game was either Bayonetta or Metal Gear Rising. Either Bayonetta or Metal Gear Rising. Discord. Fucking fuck. Making it real family unfriendly here. But Devil May Cry 5, I gotta say, like, V is the one on the roster who it feels like he very clearly got the least amount of moves out of the three, and he has the least amount of crazy shit he can do. He still has a ton of moves and crazy shit he can do. Nero gets a lot of moves. I'd say, like, between Nero only gets one or two weapons, and his moveset just about equals Bayonetta's. And then we move over to Dante, and Dante is absolute insanity. I could not begin to count how many moves Dante has. Dante's got, like, over 200 different moves between his 4 different weapons and his 4 different guns. It's insanity. So there is so much potential to do your own style. Dante and Nero are characters that, you know, any person will pick up and play, and it will be very, very different from the others. And I absolutely love that. There's always replayability between those two characters. V still has a lot of replayability, though it mostly comes from the fact that not only is he an entirely new character to the series, so even series veterans like me don't really know how to play him, but his strategy is so weird, and there are so many different ways of looking at it, that there's still a lot of replayability with him in that regard. With that said, Nero does clearly get the most focus in the game. There are 2 levels in the game where you can pick who you want to play. And I should note that you should go through those levels and play through each character at least once, because the level is actually pretty different for each character. But I did the math, and Nero gets 10 of the levels, which I think Addie's going to be a little bit pissed about. Because you said you really didn't like Nero, right, Addie?
yeah, I actually was about to ask if you think it would be worth it for me to buy the game, since I hate how Nero plays, even.
I think you put more time into Nero, he gets better. You specifically definitely need to get more moves, because they give you kind of Nero's shitty moves in the demo. But Nero also picks up a couple moves on the last level. On the last level, Nero picks up a couple moves that turn him around entirely as a character. I was not a fan of how Nero played for most of Devil May Cry 5. Like, I was a much bigger fan of how he played in 4 when he was the command grab character. By the time 5 finishes, Nero goes back to being a really fun character. Dante is still my favorite. I'll go ahead and sit on him, at least until Virgil releases. But yeah, Nero gets 10 out of the game's levels. Dante gets 8 levels, and V gets 6. And V gets the least, I think, at least partially because they are worried people wouldn't like him. And it's now kind of turning on them, because now that the game's out, people really like playing as V. Even the head developer, Itsuno, has said that his favorite character to play in the game is V. So yeah, V's turning out really well. Nero is, like, I'll go over each character just real quick. Nero, he's an odd one. I often choose just not to take the Devil Breakers at all, just because, like, some of them are fun, some of them aren't. But I really just don't like having it taken out of my control. You know? Because you don't get to pick which one is next up on the slot, and you don't get to pick which ones you pick up in the field. So I just ignore them most of the time. Especially considering that they break if you get hit while using them. So I get scared, and it becomes the Final Fantasy elixir effect, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not going to use this, because what if I need it later in the game? And I'll never use it, because there'll never be a point later in the game where I need it. So I might as well use it when it's convenient. With that said, Nero's moveset is still a lot of fun, because he gets every kind of move you will ever need in one weapon, so you don't need to worry about weapon switching or style switching. And once he picks up some of the later stuff with his gun will be able to do like half the killing on its own. So Nero gets a lot stronger later in the game. Dante is still an absolute insanity fest to play, because he has 4 weapons, 4 guns, and 4 styles. So
he also has 4 arms.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that the next fucking Dante weapon will just be Goro. It's not even 4 arms. He just straps Goro to his back.
he waves Goro around by his legs.
Hey, that's an accurate description of several of Dante's weapons. So Dante is the one that's going to be rough for newcomers. Because if you want to use each weapon properly, you're going to have to mash the switch weapon, switch style, switch gun buttons. And it's really funny because Dante yells out the name of each style when he switches to the style. So if you're watching a pro Dante player, Dante is just spending the entire game going, trick, gun, sword, trick, trick. And it's like, alright, you know what, Dante, I'm not going to judge you for what you do, but that's a little weird. I gotta say, I prefer not to be killed by a man while he yells that. And, let's see. V is a lot of fun. The story hits a lot of expected notes. It goes in some unexpected directions. I'm not exactly sure what to think of it right now, because the ending is nothing but pure fan service. Or at least that's what I thought going in. I'm beginning to change my mind, because it's fitting to some of Devil May Cry's themes. But definitely early on, it seems like full-on fan service. Lady and Trish kind of get fucked over as characters. They might as well have not shown up. Hopefully they're DLC playable characters. But right now it's looking kind of iffy, because this game being on PC, someone looked into the code, and the code strip has a thing for player 1, and that's Nero. Player 2, that's Dante. Player 3, that's V. Player 4, it's Virgil. It's fucking Virgil. Virgil is in the game. Playable with like half his moveset and he's jank as hell, but Virgil is already in the game. Playable. So,
Well then.
Gee, I wonder what the first DLC is gonna be, huh?
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
It's gonna be USAG Kenshin. Oh no, it's actually gonna be Mitsunari Ishida, because he was basically just Virgil with different hair.
I am going through... I've beaten the game already once now, and I'm halfway to beating it a second time, so it's a Devil May Cry game, alright. The difficulty's a little different. I think Addy, who gets spooked by high difficulty games, you probably don't want to get spooked by this one. Because generally the difficulty just boosts the amount of damage that enemies deal. But other than that, they don't seem to be particularly more aggressive, outside of a specific couple of enemies that are frustrating a bit. I'd say, so far, this looks like it might be my game of 2019, even though this is a bit early to judge. I liked it better than Resident Evil 2, and I loved Resident Evil 2. So, yeah. And I will go ahead and get off this topic, because it has been nothing but me talking, and you guys sitting in your chairs like, oh god, when will he stop?
We're sitting here taking notes. Like,
Yeah.
We get it,
Like
you love your damn Japanese game.
I mean, that wouldn't be fair for me, since all I talk about is Sengoku Basara, so...
That is a real fear on the podcast, isn't it? Where have you gone, Addy? Where have you left? You've forsaken us.
What do you mean?
That's a real fear on the podcast, that you're repeating yourself sometimes, isn't it?
Nah. I don't care.
So, yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap up the Devil May Cry talk there. I'll probably figure out something else to talk about for Devil May Cry with the next couple of weeks. But I'll stop it here now because it's going on long enough. So, hey, Captain Marvel, it's spoiler discussion time again. If you don't want to be spoiled on Captain Marvel, get out now. Get out while the getting's good.
Just get out in general. Don't come back.
Yeah. Like, get out and go watch the movie already.
Indeed.
So, Pink liked it too, huh?
I absolutely loved it.
Really?
Indeed.
I'm beginning to worry that I'm becoming an old man yelling at... I'm beginning to worry that I'm, like, Seymour Skinner in that one picture from Simpsons? Am I out of touch? No, it's the kids who are wrong. Because I am intent on disliking this movie, but I mean, everyone I know is like, hey, it's a great movie. Okay, so, alright. I've never actually asked someone to point out why is it good. So let me ask that. Pink, why do you think it's good?
To me, it feels very throwback to the original MCU films, which is both a good and bad thing. The worst part about the film, I would say, is that the villains are rather weak.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so since this is a spoiler cast, when you say the villains, are you referring to Jude Law or to Ben Mendelsohn?
Jude Law.
Okay.
Jude Law.
Who's the other guy?
Ben Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn was the
other
leader of the
guy
Skrulls.
was Skrulls.
Okay.
He's Talos.
Talos. Yes.
No, he
So
was
obviously
awesome.
you've already been spoiled. So Talos, spoiler alert, plot twist, not the bad guy.
Now, why are the Skrulls good guys? Are they like transients looking for a new home?
Yes,
Yeah.
for the most part. I'm thinking, or at least my conspiracy theorying, is that they didn't want to make the Skrulls the bad guys because, firstly, this is a prequel, I guess you could say, and having a alien race of shapeshifters appear on the Earth in the 90s would probably throw some monkey wrenches into later MCU films in the chronology.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you already had alien shapeshifters trying to take over the world back in 1995, when I believe this movie takes place, that kind of undermines the Winter Soldier with the Hydra takeover of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
So you could kind of tell that their hands were tied with a lot of things here, with it being a prequel. Because they didn't seem to be allowed to take things too far in any particular direction.
Except
Right.
changing the reason the Avengers are named, right?
Yeah.
Was there ever a reason given for the original reason that the Avengers were named the Avengers?
Was it not Captain America? Because I know the subtitle for his movie was the first Avenger.
The subtitle
He
for
was
his
the
movie is
first
the first Avenger, but I don't think he's ever been explicitly called that in the film. In any regard,
And
really.
no, I don't think so, because I know that Nick Fury had the Avengers Initiative, and then in the Avengers 2012, Tony says they're gonna avenge, if they can't save the world, they're gonna avenge it,
Right. Because, I did see that a lot of people online were pointing out that moment where, Carol's plane is the thing that gets the Avengers their name. They're like, no, that's garbage. What about Steve? And it's like, Steve, to my knowledge, was never acknowledged as the first Avenger. It's just a cool subtitle for his film.
It's something they had to put on the film because they weren't allowed to put Captain America in other countries. So that's
Right.
how I always looked at the title, that it didn't actually have a meaning.
Yeah, to me, the first Avenger title was just a title for the movie and never something important to Steve Rogers as a character in any way.
Right.
It's like, to me, it'd be like saying Steve Rogers, Captain America, the first superhero. It's like, it doesn't really matter what subtitle you put there because it's not important to Steve whatsoever.
Right.
Huh.
But to have Carol, who has just now been in a buddy cop sort of movie with Nick Fury, being the reason that Nick Fury decides to call his initiative the Avengers Initiative, it made more sense to me because it was an answer that I finally got after years of wondering because, as I said, it was never explicitly stated that Captain America was regarded as, quote unquote, the first Avenger. So going all the way back to Iron Man 2, it's like when he comes up with the Avengers Initiative to Tony, it's like, oh, that's an odd name. Where'd you get that, man?
Yeah.
I do not remember the first Captain America all that well.
I remember some parts of it very well, some other parts I don't. Something I want to watch again soon, though, because
Yeah.
it's a good movie. And honestly, I think Captain Marvel and the First Avenger are what I would compare. It's like if people were to ask me what I thought about Captain Marvel, I'd probably say it's a lot like Captain America: The First Avenger. A lot of people
Yeah.
will enjoy it. A lot of people will not.
Yeah. I agree there.
There are a lot of similarities. Like I mentioned the previous week, Carol Danvers really reminded me of Steve Rogers with Chris Evans' performance.
Hmm.
So, what I imagine when I think of Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, I think of like him being sweet and innocent. I can't see that for Carol.
You cut out there for me, so I didn't hear you.
When I think of Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, I always think of him like, sweet and innocent and doesn't really understand what's going on. I can't see that
Right.
for Carol.
She's sweet and innocent, but also spunky.
Yeah.
She's like almost if like Tony and Steve had a child, it'd be Carol.
Yeah.
That does work for Comic Carol. I will say that. If Comic Carol was less of an ass, then that'd probably be an apt description of her.
Right.
Yeah.
So, So that whole thing with it turns out the Skrulls are good guys, right?
Right.
Hmm.
So,
Skrulls are no longer the Soviets.
right. And the Kree are the bad guys again, which Kree always with the bad guys.
Right. No change
But
there.
Does she kill Yonrog?
No.
No.
Oh, How does he get solved then?
She shoots him back to space, and she tells him that she's going to destroy the Supreme Intelligence, if I remember correctly.
Does she
Yep.
destroy the Supreme
'Cause-
Intelligence?
We don't see that. It kind of leaves you off at
Yeah.
that's probably what their second
It's-
movie might go off.
It's implying that that's what Carol will have been doing this entire time.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to do Captain Marvel 2 in another prequel. Because that would
That is true.
That would be a terrible decision, in my opinion. You should never have a sequel be another prequel. Captain America wasn't. Captain Marvel shouldn't be either.
It's the sequel to the
True.
prequel and the prequel to the sequel.
Right. I mean, Wonder Woman is kind of doing that, but I think it's fine for her.
Well, it's fine for her
'Cause-
because Justice League bombed, so it's the
Right.
Disney movies aren't going to be.
She
tied.
doesn't have an overarching universe to worry about.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, that kind of raises the question of what happened to Yonrog then, other than that he might come up in the modern movies. But I would have thought that if Yonrog was still running around in the modern day, he would have been part of Ronan's whole thing.
Right.
Okay, did we see a Super Skrull hint?
No.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess they're holding off on that until Fantastic Four.
Right.
Probably.
'Cause the Fox merger wasn't quite done yet at the time of production. So they...
Had it even started yet at the time of Captain
No.
Marvel's production?
It did not.
Because I know Fox and Disney were getting closer at that time because they'd already made the deal for the Skrulls and
Right.
for Ego, but... And what was the
I
deal that was
didn't
made
even-
return? What was it that Disney gave Fox?
I have no idea, to be quite honest.
I think it was some Disney Marvel character got to appear in like Logan or Deadpool 2. But I don't remember who.
Huh.
I'm like trying to think back on both those movies to see if there was anybody there that really stuck out as wait, that's a Disney character.
Yeah.
But nothing's coming to mind yet.
The only thing I can think of is that Deadpool gets to reference Frozen in Deadpool 2, but that's about it.
And maybe, they allowed Deadpool to reference Disney and Marvel MCUs.
Yes.
It's kind of irrelevant. So, did we see any hint at all for what the future may present for the Skrulls in the MCU?
No.
Really?
At the end of the movie, it's Carol saying she's going to go destroy the Supreme Intelligence and find the Skrulls a new home.
Yep.
But the Skrulls have to be a problem again in the future. They can't not do Super Skrull.
Eventually.
Yeah, I think
You would think.
something like
now that
that.
the Fox merger is officially done, as we've previously discussed, they're free to do whatever they want with the Skrulls.
Yeah.
Their hands are no longer bound.
I will say, since Guardians 1 pretty much it got rid of what was left of the Kree, it is sad we will not get the Kree Skrull War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, for half of that discussion, I didn't even realize that you were talking about the Skrulls and not the Skrulls and not our freaking other alien Marvel thing called the Skrulls.
Mm.
What was I going?
What is that?
Yeah, now we're entering the phase of the podcast where our brains have run out. The brains have exited the door, and they decide, you know what, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Fuck you guys.
One thing that I put on my
something to
Facebook
say about
actually.
Captain Marvel here.
Right. Because everybody had such quote-unquote controversial opinions on it, I went onto Facebook and said, controversial opinion here. I thought the soundtrack was better than the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack.
Okay.
And it's not something I think I completely believe, but I just felt like posting that sort of satire that day.
Okay. What we got on that soundtrack?
So, we've got Garbage's I'm Only Happy When It Rains.
Oh, that's a good one.
We've got Come As You Are by Nirvana.
Good one.
Mm-hmm.
Which was a big standout.
Yeah. And it had already been used by the Defenders. Weird.
I know. I was like, woo!
Yeah.
So
the scene they used that song in was perfect.
We got a lot of the good grunge classics.
Right.
Yeah, Nirvana and Garbage. Yeah, this is kind of quintessential grunge right here.
For a brief moment, I believe it had Hearts Alone in there.
I think so.
There was like a karaoke flashback.
Yeah.
Given the prevalence of the shirt in the movie, I'd have to imagine at some point there was 9 Inch Nails.
There's actually no 9 Inch Nails.
Really? Weird, because doesn't Carol wear a 9 Inch Nails shirt for half the movie?
She does, but they are actually not featured on the soundtrack.
Weird, huh? I'll have to look up the rest of the soundtrack. It sounds really good. This sounds up my alley.
Right. Oh, What a Man by Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
90s. Yeah.
That's actually the first song you hear, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
If that is not Nick Fury's entrance theme, then
I
I'm
wish it could
disappointed.
have been, but unfortunately,
Yeah, it
no.
should have been, but
Okay,
it was
they should
so
have
fun.
played that for one of the Carol and Nick buddy cop sequences. That's when they should have played it.
Yeah.
Nick, Salt, and Cheese Pepper.
Oh my goodness.
No. That it should have been like something like Push It from them. Like it's a body cop like action scene, and Push It is playing in the background.
Can I just ask, in their buddy cop arrangement, is Nick the loose cannon? Is he the fun one?
He's actually the
Yeah, he's
fun
a lot
one.
more
There's
fun,
really
yeah.
not a true loose cannon, but if anyone, it's Carol because she's the one with the power.
Yeah.
That's actually really fun, having Nick be a fun guy in contrast to serious ass Carol. I really like
Right.
that.
Yes. Yes.
It was funny because I wasn't really sure what kind of Nick Fury to expect because it's a prequel. It takes place in 1995, but that's still pretty recent. Not too terribly recent, but recent enough that I didn't know what kind of Nick Fury we were going to get. But it actually feels like a very, very almost rookie-esque kind of Nick Fury. Because he's very happy, very trusting, adopts a cat,
Mhm. I know.
very
Yeah.
witty.
Cat collects his eye.
The cat collects
Yes.
his eye.
In a way, you could say the cat adopted Nick, and that was his way of... No. Bad human. Now you shit in the litter box.
We need a Nick Fury's cat versus Rocket Raccoon in Endgame.
I have a strong feeling the cat would win.
Right.
The cat collects another eye for the collection.
Oh my gosh.
The cat rips out Rocket's eye and
Making
Rocket
his
shoots
own
it.
Infinity Stone collection.
We don't even
Oh my
see the
God.
fight. We just see Rocket squaring off with the cat, and it cuts to later. Rocket's only got one eye, and Thor's like, what
He's got an eye patch like Nick.
Yeah.
Thor's like, good thing you've collected that other eye, right? Oh, I can't get over the fact they gave Thor his eye back. I still don't like that. I thought that was a neat bit of character development.
I was a little sad when they popped the eye back in.
You know, the worst thing that so far has come of me having to watch through Naruto is that my mind defaulted to lost eye. No matter, just steal someone's.
That's
'Cause that's what they do.
Not a
Bad strategy.
Could you imagine taking out someone's eye and stuffing it into your eye socket?
I don't think that's how eyes work.
I mean, that's how it worked for Thor. If it worked for Thor and Naruto, why can't it work for me?
It didn't work for Naruto. It worked for freaking Madara
Shut up.
and Kakashi.
Same thing.
There's like
Isn't
20
Kakashi
years
one of the
between
good
them.
guys?
Yeah. So what?
It's okay if you're
There are
about
good
their
guys in
eyeballs
that
if they're
show?
a bad person.
No, what happened there is
It's okay, he cheated on his wife, it's fine.
no. What happened there is that when they were like 10 years old and were in a war, his teammate who was an Uchiha had just recently got a Sharingan and he was crushed by rocks, so he was like, "Take my eye, I don't need it anymore." And that's how Kakashi got the Sharingan.
I like the idea of someone getting crushed by rocks and their reaction is to rip their own eyeball out and hand it out to the nearest person. Here, take it, I ain't gonna be using it. Could you imagine if someone did that in real life? No Sharingan bullshit or any of that, just a regular
It's just I don't need this eye anymore.
That's high-speed organ donation.
Yeah. And the thing is, the guy later turns out he wasn't dead. The teammate.
And he's like,
Then he
"Whoops,
dies
I
again?
did need it."
No, then he dies again, and he does it again.
He's an eyeball
It's just
machine.
yeah, no, he just does it with the other eye this time.
What?
He has
I'm not
no
gonna be-
eyes now.
Not gonna be using this one either. He rips it out,
Well-
though, and he's like, "Alright, I'm gonna need somebody to take this. Who's there? Who's talking
Well-
right now? I can't...
Nobody's, but basically like how it happens in the story is freaking a cop out because what happens there is he dies, and by dies I mean he literally gets turned to ash. So then he's like, you know what, Chakra's magic now, and he comes back to life through Chakra to talk with Kakashi and give him his eye.
Wait, did he
No.
went to the guy, he came back from the dead to give his other eye specifically.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, wait,
Yeah.
you didn't take this one before you left. You left this at my place. Don't worry, I got it for you."
Yeah, he was like because he met up with that other teammate who died already, who he was in love with, and he was like, "Wait a bit, I need to go back to Kakashi to give him my other eye."
Hey, you love me with one eye, you're gonna really love me with none.
Naruto's stupid when you can ignore all of the shitty writing and just focus on the funny things.
Well, Naruto's stupid when everyone talks like Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
Oh. And yeah, what else is there to say about Captain Marvel? Okay, how many fight scenes do we get?
Let's.
I can't give you a number.
Yeah, two spring immediately to mind. There's one on a train and one in the kind of climax or toward the climax.
Hmm.
Those are the two that immediately stand out to me, and I don't recall. There's got to be more than that, but I don't know.
How many
Yeah,
do
I
we
thought
actually
there
get to
were
see Carol use her powers?
pretty often.
And
A
The
lot
fight
at
scenes
the
don't shy away from her powers, so it's all
yeah.
good.
one last spoiler question: do we get binary?
No.
Oh,
Yeah. It's weird because I remember everybody was hyping her up as the most powerful hero in the MCU.
Hmm.
So I figured, oh, they're going to make her binary at some point. Doesn't really feel like that. I don't think this movie is a showcase of her full power if she has a more powerful form. Maybe they were just saying most powerful as in female empowerment. I don't know. I'm not a marketing technician.
well, I think the thing is, I think Brie Larson was the one who said she's the most powerful.
I thought it was Kevin Feige.
I thought it was Kevin as well.
I thought someone had to walk it back after Brie Larson said that.
Oh, could be. I don't know.
All I remember was Kevin would not stop talking about it at one point. But that's about it.
Kevin was hyped.
He was like saying she's so powerful, she can move planets, and everyone was like, "What?"
What?
Right, I do
I was
remember-
like,
Oh,
We're talking on a
that was
philosophical level
specifically
here,
Brie
though.
that said that she could throw planets. I'm 99% sure. Because Kevin might have said that she was really powerful, that she was the most powerful, but I don't think he said the planets. I think that was Brie. With that said, if she can, we need a moment of her and Thanos throwing planets at each other.
Yeah.
Uninhabited
So,
ones.
so
Uninhabited
what you're
ones. We
saying,
don't need a
what you're
Jean Grey
saying,
moment, but-
what you're saying is you want anime.
Anime
Not
does
really,
not
but
have
sort
like
of.
an exclusive license on over-the-top stuff, Addy.
Well, it is usually an anime thing where people are starting to throw planets at each other, though.
I don't know. It's a comic thing too, and a video game
Right.
thing. You not
We
play
have
the
a guy
Surge
that
Wrath,
tries
Addy.
to eat planets, so
I
it
mean,
doesn't get more over the top than that.
anime was not a thing in the 70s, really. And back then, Jean Grey destroyed a planet. So hey, we'll say it's an old comic book thing just as much as it is an old anime thing. I don't even remember the context for Jean destroying that planet.
She was angry.
I knew she was angry, and I know that was like the first time Dark Phoenix really came out. But was there any explanation for why Dark Phoenix was like, alright, fuck this planet?
I think it was a lot like Galactus, where she had to sustain herself.
She had to blow that planet up, otherwise she would have felt bad. All right, let's meet somewhere and then figure out a way for me to get 200,000 more because I have 300,000. Then we only need like 500,000 for our Kuruma, whatever.
So yeah, I think that's about it for the podcast.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you know what? I'll go ahead and throw in one last thing, just to tie together the Captain Marvel thing. All right, Volcano, what was your favorite moment from Captain Marvel?
Gosh, trying to pick one is hard. I really enjoyed their like near final fight scene when she has a lunchbox that's supposed to have a spoiler Tesseract in it.
The Tesseract, really?
Yeah.
That's how you know it's a prequel.
Mm-hmm.
How early did they steal that shit from? Oh no, wait, this is the 90s, right? Okay, I thought it.
Yeah.
For a moment, I forgot it was after Captain America. I was about to say.
Yeah. Yeah, like that fight scene was fun.
All right, and Pink, what was your favorite scene from Captain Marvel?
I really enjoyed a scene where she's basically been captured and she has to speak with the Supreme Intelligence, and that's kind of when she blows off all the restraints to get her full power.
Oh yeah, that was a good scene.
Is that not supposed to be
Also, the
equivalent to
aforementioned scene with "Come as You Are."
Oh, okay. They use "Come as You Are" as a power-up song. Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting choice. I could see it working though. Huh. All right. Well then, now I say we can call that a podcast.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Yeah.
A nice, good old meandering podcast.
Only 5 hours in time.
Only, actually, let's see, what's the time?
It's
3:40.
almost 4 hours.
3:40, nearly 4 hours. All right. Addie, say bye. Shut up, keep going.
This is the longest outro ever.
It'll be even longer if you shut the fuck up. Okay, Addie, I give.
Bye.
Say, yeah, there we go.
Oh.
Fuck. Oh, my patience has worn thin.